brilliant saves. Such an incredibly good saving system that lets you name things. They know what they're doing. Anyway, our saves are with us, so life is great. All right. So we have an autosave and a non-autosave. Why? Oh, okay, I had the horse. If you look at this, it appears that in the autosave, Ocelot took out his clipboard. I feel like we should load that. What do we think? Autosave and not autosave. Yeah, I guess detecting will be the theme of the hour. I don't know anything about Ghost Trick except that it, I think, is made by the Ace Attorney people, and I think there's a dog in it. But the dog is not actually the main character, I think. But that's how little I know. All right. Are you ready for the further adventures of Ocelot? I might actually change the settings a little bit here. Hold on. Thank you for subscribing, Jason. What happens if I do this? Does this work? Yes, that works even better. Okay, we're going to do that. We're just going to do that. That solves my problem. Brilliant. Okay. Then let's just continue, shall we? Thank you, Blaze. I like it. It should be bluer, but it's not bluer. I'm sorry. There may come a time that I am not rendered temporarily, only temporarily speechless by the entrance of this song. But it's not anytime soon. Don't you just want to wrap yourself up in that? Just fill yourself with that. It's so pretty. Okay, anyway. So I had folks who said, hey, it's been a while. We don't remember what happened last time. And I said, don't worry, folks. I got you. And by that, I mean, okay, so I'm having to remember buttons, because buttons, I've never been good at buttons. And my memory is still not the greatest, but I did go and glance at last week's stream from a month and a half ago. I'm on controllers, so the tab key is, what button is that? This, there we go. Look at that. Buttons! I can remember buttons. Man, I saw a lot of cosplay of these two. I don't think I saw anyone else from this game that I recognized, but apparently somebody was saying there was an Everett cosplayer, and I was like, did he have a chair? Because if you cosplay as Everett, you're like obligated to have the chair. But I did see a number of, and I just have to say, one of the things that I most appreciated about the cosplayers at MagFest, so I ran into a Kim and I was really excited. And the Kim was like, the detective is upstairs. If you want, like, I'll catch up with him later. Didn't call him by name, didn't spoil that, nothing, just the detective. And I was like, you get it. I now know that Harry Derry Berry is our main character's name. But you can't take for granted that somebody else would know that. So, just call him the detective. Or, if you're very cool, Ocelot. I keep hitting that button instead of the run button. In my defense, they're right next to each other, but what does this button do? This button doesn't appear to do anything. However, oh, look at that. Oh my God. Anyway, what makes it so good is that somehow you can make Kim do it too. Okay. I'm gonna give myself a stomachache. We haven't even started. I would be excited if somebody was like, I'm Disco Ocelot. I would be like, hell yeah, you are. It's Disco Elysium, I can swear. Okay, so what did we do last? This is gonna keep happening, isn't it, Lauren? What game did I play where the Y button did something? Oh, right, I don't usually run. Kim's gonna yell at me if we run too much. Okay, we won't run too much. We'll run a little bit. Wait, do I not usually use the controller, actually? Do I usually play this game on keyboard and mouse? I do, don't I? Oh, I forgot about that. That's why I didn't know my buttons. Whoa! Amazing. Never let it be said. Never let it be said that my memory is reliable or good. So here we made a trade-off, you see. We traded off remembering sort of what happened in the game for remembering how to play the game. It was not on purpose. Oh, man. Okay, we're off to a very good start. Because I was like, huh, it's interesting. It seems like you can control how fast you run by how hard you tilt the stick. But I'm pretty sure I usually just walk. Huh. Well, turns out that I'm bad at that. Okay, yeah, so I usually do this. Oh, look, see, now it's like you got a controller out, so we're going to show you what button does what. Oh, look at that. Anyway, yeah, because this is familiar. Yeah. Did I go through that box? Okay, Lauren, don't get distracted by the box. Don't get distracted by the box. We're doing a recap. And we're making poor Ocelot and Kim walk around. You know, I have a DDR pad, and if I didn't live on the 12th floor and want to make sure my neighbors don't hate me forever, I would do DDR streams because it'd be so good for my health. Well, Peter, I did take like a month and a half off. But I think this is stream 35. And we're on day 3. No, so last time we came out here, or no, we started off out here, I think. We finished up talking about... Wait, did I just have a... No, I can't walk there. Hit the... Oh, it's because I don't have... My touchpad is weird. Yeah, don't even think about how long it took me, okay? We are all better off if we just don't think about that. Okay. Nobody wants it. What are these? What are these? What is that? I'm sorry. I was gonna just recap. There were 2 breaks last year actually because of health. There was a break of about a month and a break of about I think 2 or 3 weeks. But still, yes, it's been a minute. All right. I guess we're not going to recap fully. But we talked. No, there's some coins there. Not them. They'd already talked. We talked a little bit about the fact that poor Mr. Ocelot here tried to commit death by car, as far as I can tell. And now he has to deal with the repercussions of that and his very sad car. And then we went and yelled at a racist. And then we went and broke into a lesbian's truck and discovered that she's a crime lord. Lady? Crime lord seems like it should be gender neutral. Is that correct? I feel like it should be. Anyway, that's basically the long and short of it. There were some details in there. Yes, that's true plays. That's about how it went. Thanks, Chrono. I'm glad to know that one's going down in the history books. Yeah, but we yelled at the racist that you have to yell at so that you can go and break into the lesbian's truck. This is how it goes. All right. I'm gonna... Okay, it's blue. I don't remember what blue is. Blue is... Not the one that I have the most of, I think, is purple. I think purple's one I have the most of, and... Wait, is blue intellect and purple is feelings? All right.
This is it. The scene of the party. The fire pit. Cigarettes and empty bottles all evidence it.
Okay, so this is the thinky one. I was right. Okay. Oh, there's a thought. Oh no, there's a thought. Oh, Well, no, but the thing is, empathy is purple and encyclopedia is blue. Right? Right? I'm not wrong on that one. I'm pretty positive I'm correct on that. And those are the ones, so everything is categorized by, is it in line with encyclopedia or is it in line with empathy? I don't remember what those categories are called, but I think it's thinking and feeling. I think yellow, is that motorics? And some other color is body. But who cares about that one? Am I right? Not me. Certainly not. Look at my massive number of 1 HPs. Okay. Okay, gosh, that's right. I have to make decisions. I don't want to make decisions. That's why I'm making decisions, the game. Discourse Elysium might as well be named Decision Making Simulator. All right. Fire pit, cigarettes, and empty bottles. So I staggered out of the car and sat here drinking and smoking. So it's clear to me that Ocelot is still lying to himself somewhat about this, unless that this is a thought that could have been triggered before I did the other thing. But I've already done the other thing. I don't know. Yes, they put shivers in the body category specifically to mess with players like me who are like, I don't even know what color body is. Okay. Because hold up, don't you mean the scene of the crime? Or, yeah, sure does look like a lot of folks partied here. This right here, this is the, like, I'm lying to myself answer. Oh, yeah, this feels right. This whole not having a controller in my hand thing, this is correct. Okay. Aren't you impressed? Aren't you impressed by my memory? This one right here is like goody two-shoes. I broke the law. But I am the law. But I broke myself. So, I'm pretty sure that's an A plus B. A equals B. B equals C. A equals C. Fallacy, but it's correct. Yeah, but who needs surviving being breathed at? Obviously not me. Thank you. All right. Do I want to be a serious cop or an evasive cop? My Ocelot is trying to take some responsibility for his actions and try to be a better man. And he's played by a wet blanket. Therefore, I think I probably have to choose answer 1 here. Hold up. Don't you mean scene of the crime?
Not as such. I'm talking about what came after the party scene.
Oh, okay. All right, logic. I get you. You're letting me say multiple things. That's fine. Yeah, sure does look like a lot of folks partied here.
Looks like they were here a while, judging from all the bottles. The sunken motor carriage provided them a focal point, like a goose ice sculpture. or a chocolate fountain.
Okay, so this wasn't me? Because I just would have sworn those were my footprints. But, well, that's okay. You never know. It could be my misunderstanding of what's happening. It could be my misremembering what happened. It could be Ocelot's willful or unintentional misunderstanding of what happened. Or Ocelot's willful or unintentional misremembering of what happened last session. Aren't you glad we live on the edge with so many possibilities for things to go wrong? I'm just adding to the verisimilitude of the experience. Hey, Kim, looks like we've had a couple of party goers here.
Looks like it.
Okay, looks like they had a great time laughing here. This was some kind of theater to them. A circus production by a great clown. What the hell, Ocelot? Or was this party against the law? On the ice like this, there was probably a public danger. Okay, all right. I'm going to read into everything here. Okay, looks like they had a great time laughing here. That is self-destructive. The implicit, they're laughing at me. The second one seems like it is the same thing, but more dramatic. One might say, with clown shoes on. And then the third one is very serious, total wet blanket answer. Was this party against the law? Shall we indulge drama? Ocelot can wear little clown shoes as a treat. We're gonna go with that. This was some kind of theater to them. A circus production by a great clown. I have no idea how Kim is going to respond to this, but I have no special attachment to any of the other lines, and I do like that one.
Hey, let's keep moving, detective.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses. He's responding to the combination of drama and self-loathing that are like tag teaming, getting ready to like just something really awful is about to come pouring out of Ocelot, and Kim is like, maybe not. Let's not do that. That seems like a bad idea.
Somehow, he doesn't want to dwell on it.
Thank you, empathy. Yes. All right. See, this is why I know empathy's purple. Because we talk a lot. All right. Oh, what? Kim! No, you shut down my whole thought. That's fine. That's fine. You're doing it in my own best interest. Is my hair? Oh, so it's actually blue purple, but it fades to be more purple. But then the problem is like, look, it's not purple at all in the back. Look at that. Look, see, look. I'm gonna re-dye it. And then for like 2 days, it'll be blue. You'll see. It'll be great. I need to take this money. This is payment for my clowning. I got a tip. Oh, yes. Okay. My hair is empathy tempered by logic. And encyclopedia. And rhetoric. Rhetoric. Oh, I do like rhetoric. Oh, man. These are like all of my greatest hits favorite. Oh, wait, but the footsteps go this way. No, Lauren? Lauren, no. 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 Those aren't my footsteps. Maybe. Let's not do that. We're not going to do that. I am exercising self-control. Do you see how much self-control I'm exercising? Being so good. Being so good. Yeah, well, rhetoric is blue and empathy is purple, and oh, I have to be up there. Got it. And so when their powers combine, you get Captain Lauren. All right, this I think is nope. No, Lauren. No. I am on track. I only got slightly sidetracked. I didn't get that thought. I feel like I did that wrong. I feel like if I hadn't gone clown shoes, Kim might have allowed it. But he might have shut down any of the self-deprecation. Hey, guys. All right, and then we went to the ladies' truck. I love that song. And then I think was where we left off. So we have a couple of options here. And I could ask you if you wanted to vote on them, or I could just do whatever the heck I want to do. So our options basically, because I made a note. I was smart. And I was like, all right, next time we could go tell Joyce what we did. Because we did Joyce's quests. Oh! I don't know why I thought I used the controller. I remember the hotkeys. See, character sheet, journal, thought cabinet, character sheet, thought cabinet, journal, character. It's great. Anyway. Wait. I'm needlessly, excessively amused by that. Okay, so you can just pull up the map. All right. That was a new discovery. You can just pull up the map. Isn't that exciting? Look at that. We have a map. Travel here. Fisherman shacks. Martinez district in Jamrock quarter of Revachol zone of control. They did that to help me. That helps me. I am better off because of that. Martinez is the district. That's the smallest amount is that we are in Martinez. Because I know that Jamrock is the bad news place. And I police Jamrock. So it makes sense that I'm still in Jamrock. I'm just in a particular part of Jamrock. And then Revachol is the whole thing. I love Ferris wheels. Okay. So there's some things we can do. Samar and butter. Oh, that's probably to like make sense of you like ramping around there. Oh, oh yeah, that's a big one. Sleeping dock worker. I was gonna take his pills. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't remember what I was gonna do. I know I was supposed to try to convince Kim that this is a sexy mystery, if I remember correctly. I have no idea what the pile of clothes is all about. I think this is figuring out which book to get. This is trying to figure out what Roy is on. This has got something to do with the dead body, maybe. I'm not sure. No! Button. Why can't I just... Okay, measure head. Yeah, who cares? What am I trying to do with Joyce? I don't know, but there was a thing that I was trying to do with Joyce. Anyway, tasks. Why does it keep helping me out to sing karaoke? I could take Kim on a Ferris wheel ride. Unless you've got sufficient friendship points built up with somebody else. This one's not going to happen. This one is probably... I wasn't going to do this one, but also it's got to show off for a boy. This might take some time, they tell me, so it probably takes a couple of days. I don't think I've been asking too much about that. This. Yes, I have to do that. This. I did that. I'm gonna get so much XP. I can't do this one yet. Alice needs more time. I need to paint the wall. Oh, yeah. I need to go look for him. I need to figure this out. This might take a while. I'm so glad they tell you that. Okay. Yeah, we're done. I could go get the boots before I turn in the body. But I'm pretty sure Kim would know it was me. Okay. So yeah, so we have multiple... We have multiple things we can do here. Is that what he usually says? We're gonna go talk to Tommy. Tommy, not Johnny. Tommy. I don't think he said that last time. Alright. I'm gonna talk to him. See what he's got to say. But I did just save.
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
Yeah, that's what I figured you wanted to talk to me about. So I can say, the racist told us where her cabin is. We only searched it. 2. No trouble. She's going to be fine. 3. There's going to be an investigation. 4. Sorry, man. I can't disclose the facts of an official investigation to you. So I maybe should have waited to do that until it wasn't just in the middle of the day. Because you can just... Anybody could just see me do that. And we already know that Everard has people watching me. Although the lady he had watching me is no longer there. If this were a tabletop game, I would have been more cautious about that. But also Ocelot is a cop. And they can do kind of whatever they want. And I don't know. He's also a hot mess. So, all right. What am I going to say? I like Tommy. I want to be Tommy's friend. And I do genuinely believe... Okay, this might be hopelessly naive of me, but I do genuinely believe that Tommy is actually a friend. Now, it is possible that Tommy is actually part of the organized crime stuff himself, and he's just kind of putting on this like friendly persona so that you will open up to him and trust him. And it may be that he when he's like, oh man, I don't know what she's tangled up in, but I like her. It could be that he's actually kind of like, he could be trouble if we really want to play some complicated chess. So if it turns out that Tommy is going to betray me or be like, actually I'm secretly a criminal mastermind or something like that, I mean, let's be real, I'll actually probably forget that I said this. But if I don't forget that I said this, I will say, I thought of that. But I feel like it's unlikely. And it feels in character for me, for my Ocelot, to trust this man and want him to be my friend. So I'm going to go ahead and make Tommy my friend. I'm putting him in the friend category. I like him. Like, there's people you don't want to be your friends, like the racist. Kim's probably going to shut me down if I gab too much. I feel like I shouldn't say there's going to be an investigation. And I feel like I shouldn't lie and say no trouble, she's going to be fine. Yes, Tommy, homie. He's a friend, yes. I want to pick the first answer. Establishing that the racist is not our friend. We don't like him. We looked around. Maybe I won't tell you what we found, but we looked. Kim's probably gonna get mad at me. I want to pick it. Nobody ever said that Ocelot is professional these days. It does seem that he was highly professional in the past. But it's been a minute. We have some idea of the number of years, I think. All right. I'm going to do it. This might be a terrible idea and I might regret it, but whatever. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. You folks sometimes suggest that I maybe ought to take more risks and be less cautious as I stream this game. I'm just going to say, the racist told us where her cabin is. We only searched it.
Still better than me, I guess. Told you there's plenty of others who'd tell on her. But, is she in trouble?
He leans in. He really wants to know. Okay. Okay. All right. So I can pin it on somebody else. Which is fine. I'm totally fine blaming the racist for things. If he doesn't want that, he could try not being a racist. Let's see. So I can either lie and say she's gonna be fine. Tell him there's gonna be an investigation, which he'll be really sad about, and potentially give her a heads up about it. Or I do appreciate that 3 feels like it's phrased bro to bro. Sorry, man. I can't disclose the facts of an official investigation to you, which does kind of say it is an official investigation. Okay. What am I going to do? Do I lie to make him feel better? I mean, she's probably going to be fine, is the thing. She's probably... It's going to take a while for them to unravel what the fuck is going on with her. Sorry, it's Disco Elysium. I'm allowed to swear. Because she's involved in big, bad crime lord stuff. Like, she seems to potentially be the point of communication for a great many people who are out there. Now... Do you mind if I just run my mouth about dumb stuff that might have nothing to do with anything at all? Just because I just really like stories and thinking about things. So like, no, it's not even discourse. It's not even discourse. It's not even mini golfing. I may have said this last time, or maybe this popped into my head for the first time. So the reason why we were looking into her is because we're trying to get to the bottom of this smuggling. Right. Drug smuggling. And drug smuggling and drug dealing they can actually be quite harmful to people. But hear me out. Stupid, completely baseless thought that would be exciting. If the game decided to kind of pull a you only thought you knew it was going on thing, they could have it be that what she's organizing is not actually a drug smuggling crime lord ring. It could be some sort of helping people in some capacity smuggling situation. Potentially something to do with black market necessary goods that are either overpriced or very hard to come by here because this region is artificially forced to stay in a kind of depressed situation. Or I don't know, maybe we're smuggling people. And not like in a human trafficking sort of way. I don't know where we would be trying to get people into or out of, but there could be something less harmful going on there. So... you never know. Maybe it's not actually an evil crime lord drug smuggling ring. We don't know. Yes. They could be getting HRT for the trans folks of Revachol. So they're not subject to the whims of the free market in order for their life-sustaining health care. You never know. Oh, factorial time complexity. Well, thank you for subscribing, friend. There's no reason to think that might be the case. Kim did warn me, though, that this seems to be a really big, like, oh, we thought we might find, like, oh no, there's a little bit of some smuggling, tiny smug action. No, that is not the case. And Kim seems to be like, this is a big deal, and I want you to know this is a big deal. Like, do you realize that this is a big deal? And Ocelot, sorry, I'm cold, so we're gonna put on the Sans hoodie. Ocelot's like, hey, do you think maybe the Actors Guild is in on this? And Kim is like, oh my god, why are you like this? And Ocelot's like, man, gotta be all the drugs. Probably. Or the alcohol. And I want to lie to Tommy. And here's why. Okay, first of all, this is a big enough situation that it will take so long, probably, for something to actually land on her head that, who's to say that it actually has anything to do with anything that I would know? I might just report back a thing that I saw, and someone completely unrelated to what I'm doing might go and get information, and it might land on her head, 6 months to a year from now in some other way that's not directly traceable to me. Because Kim has said basically, we're not doing that. This is not for us. This investigation is not our investigation. So as far as me getting her in trouble goes, I'm not putting her in trouble, and she may even have the cops on her payroll, in which case she's not gonna be in any trouble. I'm gonna be in trouble. So that's not a lie. Exactly. And if she is really bad news and she's friends with Tommy, if Tommy's like, no, man, my friend, the clueless cop, said that you're going to be fine, maybe she'll continue underestimating me? And if it turns out that Tommy is going to betray me because it turns out he's actually an evil criminal mastermind, then he can be like, oh, the idiot's not onto us, we're fine. Or else the idiot knows what's good for him and he's not going to mess with us. It's not going to happen, though. I don't think that Tommy's going to betray me. My brain is like constantly spinning a million infinite possibilities of story things. There's a problem with D&D and related games where your quest giver betrays you. I would say this is especially bad in Shadowrun, but it is actually kind of baked into the setting. But there's just a thing where people are like, oh, shocker, Dumbledore betrayed you. Gandalf is your enemy. The person who's been helping you out all along is actually the big bad. Whoa, nobody ever saw this coming. But this game doesn't feel like it's going to do that. So, yeah, no, Chrono, like, it's built into Shadowrun. So, like, that's fine. Like, any job you take in Shadowrun, you always assume it's just part of the, what's the word? It's just an occupational hazard. You might get betrayed at any moment. But it's an archetype thing. Tommy's not important enough from what we've seen so far. Basically, that would be if Kim betrays us. If Kim betrays us, then I will be like, God damn it, I thought you were better than this Disco Elysium. But that's funny, Violet. Okay. See, if I say there's going to be an investigation, then he's not going to like me. He's not going to trust me. News might get back to her. Everything's going to be bad. 3, We'll make Kim happiest, but not Tommy. Tommy might be able to get it, but he would tell her there's an investigation. The cops were looking, and like he'll be like, well, you know, I mean, she'll hear it from someone. She might as well hear it from me. Okay, do I want to do 1 or 3? 1 or 3? I'm sorry I take so long. This is why we're on stream 35 and it's day 3. Okay. 3 is the one that I should pick. 3 is like the right answer. 3 is what you're supposed to do. But I want to make Tommy like me and make the situation safer, even if it's a lie. It's not entirely a lie. It's a half-truth. 1 or 3, 1 or 3, 1 or 3. Because I don't generally like to save scum. I did just save if I'm like, oh shoot, no. Okay, let's see what happens if we pick 1. If it goes terribly wrong, I may load. My excuse is that it's been over a month since I played this game and I'm easing into it. We're gonna do this. Okay, look. What is the philosophy professor's name again? I don't remember anyone's name in that show, and I watched it. Chidi, okay, thank you. Yes, Chidi and I could connect on an indecisive overthinking level. Definitely. That's okay, we're talking about the good place over here. What's the name of the blonde no gooder? The main character. What's her name? Eleanor? Really? Wow. God, my memory. Okay. Is Jason the name? The name of the himbo? Is that Jason? Oh, hold on, let's see. Oh, I can remember her name too. Is her name? Okay, Tahani. Right. Because somebody calls her Tahini and she's like, no. Right. Okay. I you know, yes. I'm great. I'm doing great. My memory is so good. No, I actually liked that show. It wasn't made for me. I wanted it to be more about the characters and less about the philosophy. Shocking, right? But it was very good. I really liked it. Okay, stop stalling, Lauren. I can be more decisive than Chidi. Also, I have the ability to load in this game. All right, let's try number 1. No trouble. She's going to be fine. Let's see what happens.
Oh man, that's like a load off my mind. All that stress was messing up my rhymes.
What's the plan with those rhymes anyway?
Oh, you know. Tommy Leham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
Okay, so that's speak. Is this spoken? Is this like spoken word singing? Is that what he's saying there? Yes. Oh man. So I have a friend in Austin who does spoken word poetry with musical accompaniment sometimes. In addition to like their band also just does music like in the more traditional way, but Yeah, talk singing. Yeah, that's the thing. Because I know the first word is speaking, and gesang. I didn't know. I know. I feel like I should know that form of the verb, and I assumed that had to do with singing, because English is a Germanic language. Yeah. So Tommy wants to be spoken word poetry with beats. That's cool. I can get behind that. Like. I have a harder time with the way the rhythms flow with a lot of rap, but the way that the rhythms flow in spoken word is like, that works better for me. So if you have something that leans more towards the flow of rhythm of spoken word poetry, that is, I'm more likely to connect with that. Yes, free verse is just non-rhyming, yeah, that's just non-rhyming poetry. Talk singing is I mean, spoken word is it's different. It's a performance style rather than the nature of the poem itself. If that makes sense. Okay, well, that's cool, Tommy. I want to hear that. Maybe you could help me be less bad at karaoke.
The correct grammar is Tommy Lahom.
I love you, rhetoric. I actually thought that. I got distracted, but I was like, oh, that's interesting that he says his name, Tommy Lahom, because I'm like, that is not how I would say that. That's interesting. I've been kind of careful about pronouncing that. Because I was like, it's strange that it's not got an apostrophe there, Tommy Lom. But I didn't say it. Okay, so the rhetoric in my head is as pedantic as Ocelot's rhetoric, but the rhetoric in my head knows better sometimes. Oh man, not that my French is great, but I do know that much, because the H is silent and therefore it's a vowel. So you don't want to have a vowel against a vowel, so you just take out the E of le. Okay, why Tommy le homme? Or I guess le homme. I think he said the H. Did he say the H? Well, let's see what he has to say.
Tommy Lam was taken. My real name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
I don't think that'll help you with your search results, man. But maybe people will pay the difference. His name is Jerry, yes. All of us who've played Undertale are very attached to Jerry. All right. Jerry Lafitte. Amazing. Oh man, I can't imagine sharing a brain cell with authority. That just sounds like a nightmare. But I'm pretty sure there are people who think that sharing a brain cell with rhetoric sounds like a nightmare too. So, you know, it takes all kind to make a world. So with the apostrophe, in this case, an apostrophe is serving the same role in French as it does in English, in that it indicates that a letter has been removed and two words have been put together. This is an apostrophe in a contraction, as opposed to an apostrophe that is used to denote a possessive. So I don't actually know whether l'homme right there counts as a contraction if the French use the same kind of term. But it is like that apostrophe is serving the same purpose. It's just that the specific reason why the letters are being removed between the two languages is different, because in our case the contraction just, I think, is usually just that we want to smush the word. A lot of it's just that we don't have the full not, for example. Didn't, can't. Won't is fun because won't actually has messed with more letters. There's just been a rearranging and removal of several letters there. It's kind of a mess. But I know I have listened to Authority once or twice, Chrono. I was not very happy about it. But yeah, so in the case of the apostrophe here in French, it serves to indicate that we have removed the vowel at the end of le. Because otherwise, again, we would have a vowel upon a vowel, and you don't do vowel upon vowel. So you just take away one of them and smush that consonant from that other word, the article, onto the noun. Because you're not taking letters off of nouns. You can take letters off of articles. Does that answer the question? And does anybody know whether that is called a contraction or something equivalent to the word contraction in French? Because I really want to know. I really want to know. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. You know what's fun? Irregular contractions and grammatically incorrect contractions. And also when you take a contraction and people don't realize it's a contraction, so they mishear it and then it becomes a different thing. Like would've. Would've is a contraction of would have. And so we remove the HA and the apostrophe indicates that we have taken out the HA and put those two words together. But people who do not have that grammar drilled into them, or who have internalized a different way of thinking about it before that grammar is drilled into them, here would of, like the preposition of. And so I wonder if it's only a matter of time before that one gets grammatically normalized or not. We'll see. Anyway, hi Tormuse. Yeah, I saw your comment come in. I've been told that there is somebody who is slower than me at playing Discourse Elysium, but I don't know if I believe it at this point. A grammatically incorrect contraction is the word ain't. What is ain't contracting, friends? It's not, I don't think. There's some weird dialect shenanigans going on. So functionally speaking, it looks like a contraction. It is punctuated like a contraction, but it's not actually a contraction. Like, you're supposed to put the apostrophe before a T the way you would in a regular contraction with a similar format. But some, like I said, some dialect shenanigans that an actual linguist would be able to explain much better than me, like, happened. Yeah, like, ain't can be aren't. Maybe so, but you see, like, there's some other stuff has been going on there in the pronunciation. Like, more letters have been removed, but there's not, like, additional indications and stuff. So it's, or I'm not. Yeah, like things have happened. Things have happened in there. So it's not a strict contraction. It's if a contraction is the sedimentary rock, ain't is a metamorphic rock. The pressure and heat of regular common usage has changed and shifted into a slightly different form. But if you know what you're looking for, you can still identify what it was before the metamorphic process. I'm sorry. Words, language, people, linguistics, rhetoric, and geology, specifically rocks and minerals, and a metaphor. I'm very excited about that. I am so excited about what I just did. That feels like a combo attack. I think that I should get XP for that. I think I should get XP for that. I appreciate your rock puns, everybody. It is a rite of passage when somebody discovers rocks and minerals, like, and kind of gets into that for the first time, you are obligated to make a nice pun. That's Gneis. It's hard to spell out loud. Yes, it's a secret task in the Words 10 experience. Yes, I'll take that. I go on lots of tangents. Anatomy, actually, biology is. I don't have any skill points or knowledge points in anatomy there, so that is one I cannot offer. But I will give you language, culture, occasionally the bits of science that I know. I have like basically a mental like roll of a d20 to see whether I read about it in an encyclopedia once. And I will overanalyze literally every character and everything anyone says in the game. We did talk about Girl Scout cookies during one shot, and it was I don't think it was relevant. I couldn't sleep last night, and I read a Q&A with the one-shot developers, and they confirmed that Nico just likes to put maple syrup on everything, and likes waffles as well as pancakes. So there you go. Oh man, okay, all right. Well, back to Jerry Lafitte, Tommy LeHome, which does feel awkward. And hey, as has been pointed out before, if they're British English speakers, rather than do a contraction there the way the French do, they just insert a little R in between the vowels. I want to know what that's called. If anyone isn't a linguist person, if anyone is or knows a linguist person, find out what that rhotic, I think, is called in that particular situation, because it's a thing. I swear to God, it's a thing, and I want to know what it's called, because knowing the name of a thing is confirmation that it is a thing, and the smart people who know about the thing have already thought about it, and they're like, pat, 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 good job, Lauren. Okay, yeah, so ain't is am not. That makes sense, because we don't have, like, we have I'm not, but we don't have I amn't. Which is, like, it's filling a grammatical need. A lot of times these things fill grammatical needs. All right. I'm going to get back to the game now. I'm really proud of that one, though. I'm really, really proud of that. It was like a triple whammy Laurening. Full combo.
It's more him.
Oh. Yes, Tommy is more of a Tommy than a Jerry. We'll go with that. Do I have any other questions?
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
No, I'm not conceptualization. Not until I know that I can win this one. Because it is too humiliating. I'm pretty sure that Ocelot starts saying some really sexist stuff that makes me deeply uncomfortable, because we've tried that. We're not going to do that again. A linking and intrusive R, Kingdom of Conscience. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad Wikipedia is here to help. 42% is not enough. I will come back when I can win Tommy's heart with the magnificence of my sick beats. But I'm very glad to know that a linking and intrusive R is a thing. Okay, we're gonna head out now. Got nothing to say there, Kim? Well, I totally got friendship points with Tommy. All right. So now we know they'll call you over if you've got something. They've got something to say. Hello to, by the way, welcome, Kingdom of Conscience. I see it's your first time here. Izzy Geeks and Thy Egg. Not just any old egg, Thy Egg. Okay, the percentage thing is kind of like trying to get a headshot in what's that game series? XCOM. When you're standing right next to somebody. Okay, that's Jar. Oh, we know that's a stop in French, right? All right. Please do not judge my bad French. I at least sort of know what I'm supposed to be doing or not doing with it. Okay, well, so far we're off to a pretty good start. I'm gonna save. I'm very good at naming these. Okay. All right. So that was off to a pretty good start for Lauren gets sidetracked. Shall we get sidetracked on our way over to Joyce? How does that feel? Bad brunch, also known as brunch. It's like brunch, but not. Have I spoken to this fella? I think I've tried. No. Hey, do you think we can intimidate a man into giving me his sandwich yet? He won't stand up for much, but he will stand up for his sandwich. Okay, you do not want me talking to... Wait, what is that? Hold on. Ah, Izzy, okay. Well, you've got a few... You've got extra letters for flavor. Oh! There's money! Just chilling. Don't mind if I do. Alright. I might actually not have to sleep on the street tonight. Oh, well, thank you. Should I call you Egg? Please do let me know, by the way, if I start calling you a nickname and it is not the name that you would like to be called. Let me know. And yeah, there's a lot of Disco Elysium to catch up on. If you are a person who uses timestamps, man, I get it. Okay, Egg, I can do that. I did have somebody who got really mad at me for how long things were taking, and I was like, that is legit. But I do tell you what you're getting into. And you can use timestamps. That is what they were there for. I really should finish talking to Cindy the Skull so that she can help me paint my masterpiece. Forensic playthrough. I don't know. It's a lot of just random weirdness. Active. Amazing. Yes, the thing is, on YouTube, you can just use the timestamps and skip around. It's great. You can travel through time. Those of you who are here live are stuck with me. Yes. That's totally fine, Egg. Well, I'm happy to have you here. You're welcome to come by whenever you like. Don't miss that there will be a concert on stream tomorrow afternoon. So earlier in earlier than my usual stream time at 2 p.m. Eastern instead of 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be trying to sing and play flute, possibly dual streaming on Twitch and YouTube if I can figure out how to make that work. So cross your fingers that works. Oh my God, Blue's Light, does that make my, do I turn into, like, do I have a little chipmunk Lauren? Little chipmunk Lauren is being very thoughtful. Does that happen if you speed it up? Do I get chipmunked? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now I'm really delighted at the thought of somebody playing through my, like, watching through my Disco Elysium playthrough with Chipmunk Lauren. Incredible. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, in my imagination, anyone who's doing that, you're watching on chipmunk mode. If you are watching this right now on chipmunk mode on YouTube, identify yourself, leave a comment and say I'm watching in chipmunk mode, and I'll be like, haha, chipmunk. It'll be very satisfying. Okay. I want to talk to her. I'm very good at this. Oh, look at that! Pale perambulator is the chipmunk. Okay, good. You get the chipmunk badge. Oh man! All right. And Torm, you're also getting the chipmunk badge. Well done. See, that's the thing. You're chipmunks. And like, I do not mind. I do not mind if people skip around, if they watch faster or whatever. That's why the timestamps are there. There was a person who watched me play through Final Fantasy VII Remake, also known as Crisis Core 2, and had a friend who was only interested when I started ranting about politics, had no interest in anything about the game. So I would like be like, there's a good rant here, and they'd be like, yes, good, excellent. My friend will be excited to watch just the rant. So it's good. All right. Let's try this again.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
I think I might have missed my opportunity to say something about her painting. That's okay. Well, this is probably not going to lead to friendship, but let's see what happens. So you won't talk about the murder, but maybe you can tell us something about the murder victim's missing armor? I could go... I guess I could talk to these others. We could do the friendships. See if there's a friendship path down here. What are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
Oh, I can have an opinion on this. That's what I was putting off. What is my opinion on this?
Yeah?
Oh! Oh, why was I so stressed about this? Wow. I literally don't remember why past Lauren was stressed out about this. I was really stressed out about this one. I kept coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. I remember, like, Cindy, I was like, I need to finish that conversation. I think I was probably concerned that it was going to, like, make life hell for whoever's responsible for cleaning up this building, but they'll be fine. That is the least of this building's concerns. If I remember correctly, it is like missing an entire top floor that just kind of got like smashed off, so it'll be fine. Plus, I want Cindy to help me with my hooliganism when I paint my masterpiece upon the wall. I'm gonna need her help, so I will not be a giant hypocrite and be like, no hooliganism. Oh, that's a mouthful. No hooliganism for you, but yes, hooliganism for me. Like, no, we would never do that. Hula hoopism is easier to say. Hooliganism. My favorite piece of graffiti I have ever seen, and I know I must have mentioned this when I first saw this. So I live in Canada now, which is generally like much more polite and friendly and nice and stuff than equivalent cities in Canada or outside of Canada in the US. And there's just one that just says hooligans, just like big block letters, just hooligans on the side of a planter with a tree growing out of it. And I was just like, that's the most Canadian graffiti I've ever seen. I love it. So, yes, hooliganism. I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
She would probably be more inspired if I told her no. But that's fine. I am really...
She means the opposite.
Uncool. Oh my god, is that really how it works?
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Oh my god, okay, thanks, rhetoric and empathy. I'm glad we were on the same page. Amazing. I can't do that to her. We're gonna load that. We're gonna load that and we're gonna do that differently. I'm really glad that rhetoric and empathy.
Officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
That we were on the same page. Amazing. This is great. Okay.
Can't you tell? I haven't really started it yet.
I'm going to have to stop you. This is hooliganism.
Let's be realistic. What are you going to do? Climb up there?
You heard your partner, Piggy. I'm unstoppable.
Okay. Well, that didn't inspire her more, but that didn't uninspire her. I'm going to check something here.
What for?
As I said, I need some paint and your brush too. Okay. Oh my god. 1, I'm doing renovation. It's boring but necessary. 2, for my motor carriage, we're going undercover. 3, the apocalypse is coming. I need to warn people. Or 4, for art. It's for art, okay? I like the fact that that one's weirdly defensive. I feel like the apocalypse. Where was that? Add more beauty to the wall. See, it's just art. There wasn't anything apocalyptic about it. Yes, Blaze, that is definitely definitely me and Rhetoric and Empathy are like, yeah, we got it. So, all right, for art. It's for art, okay? I'm doing this right now partly to see whether what I said to her there and inspiring or uninspiring her or whatever will change what she says here.
Well, if it's for art, but what kind of art are we talking about?
So I can either say, to be honest, I haven't really thought of anything yet, but I'm sure I will, which is something she'll relate to. Or, everything is sad and shit and we need art to make it okay. Just give me the brush. Or 3, grand art. Art deluxe. The artsiest. The most groundbreaking. It's amazing. I really like 2. I don't know that she'll like it. I think 1 is where she is right now. And I think 2 is sometimes about as much optimism as a lot of creators are able to drum up. You know? I mean, in a way, it's kind of like the more pessimistic cousin, but still related to my whole, like, you can't change the world, but you can make small changes. You can't save the world, but you might be able to help one person, and that actually is worth doing. You might be able to tell a story or make a piece of art that helps one person get through the day just a little bit better, and that makes it worth doing still. And I think I cannot, in good conscience, not pick answer number 2. Because, like, no matter how hopeless you're feeling about something, like, putting your art into the world is always worth doing, you know? Like, there's this feeling, not just, I mean, when you're struggling with, like, your own individual depression, then it's, you know, hard as hell to make things, and that's just kind of how it is sometimes, and that's the struggle. But when you're feeling overwhelmed by things that are bad in the world, that are outside of your control, sometimes you just kind of want to roll over, you know, just curl up in a little ball and do nothing. But, like, that's not going to make anything better. But the art that you make might, you know? It could, it might, you don't know. And it maybe, at least it'll make something better for you to have put that out into the world. So, write the dumb thing. Draw the dumb thing. I don't know. I'm constantly having to tell myself, it doesn't matter how dumb my creative stuff is, I should do it. Like, there's a little thing in my brain, and those of you who've been watching me for a long time, so like pre-Disco Elysium actually, because this hasn't been as bad with Disco Elysium, but if you've been watching me for years, you know there would be long stretches of time where I wouldn't post up streams until like right before the next one, because there was something in my brain that was like, nobody really cares about this. It's dumb. It's a waste of time. Why are you bothering to stream in the first place? Like, let alone put it up on YouTube. Like how pretentious and self-important must you be to have the audacity to think that anybody cares? So why bother? And so anytime for a while there, it was like anytime I actually put a stream up on YouTube in a reasonable time frame, it was like the brain gremlins and I had a battle and I won this one. And I've gotten to the point now where like that's a particular brain gremlin that I don't struggle as much with. But I mean, obviously, like there's folks who seem to enjoy it and get something out of it because you're here, right? And I'm just playing a video game and running my mouth about stuff that ostensibly has to do with the game sometimes. But basically, I'm just being myself into the universe. And for some of you, that's entertainment or companionship or something that is of value. And that's okay. It's not going to change the world. But maybe it gives you something nice to look forward to on a Friday when you're having a bad day at work. I don't know. And I think that that is true of all the little things we do. It's been over a year since I posted a chapter to my big Final Fantasy VI fanfic. And it's this stupid project that I'm pouring way too much of my life into. Why am I wasting my time on this dumb fan thing that's never going to amount to anything for this old fandom, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I like it. And there's a few other people who do, and that's fine. That's enough. So anyway, thanks, Blue Glass and Chrono. I actually managed to write over 1,000 words yesterday. For the first time in a very long time. So yeah, have that struggle with your brain gremlins. You know? Oh, I can swear this is Disco Elysium. Kick your brain gremlins' asses. Presumably they have individual asses if there's more than one gremlin. Anyway. Yeah, no, the moral of the story is do the art. No matter how bad and hopeless things can feel, do the art, do the thing. Put it into the world. Put yourself into the world. Take that chance and do something. Do it. Oh man, Kia, those are old. Majora's Mask. That's like 2016, 2017. Wow. That's like a different incarnation of Lauren. Hey, do you want to hear a little dumb random psychology thing that I learned recently that has absolutely nothing to do with Disco Elysium? Or maybe it does. So, I've obviously been having memory issues for a while. Like, this is a known thing. Okay, like, I'm sorry, I'm Lauren. No, my memory issues have been the subject of much conversation, especially in Disco Elysium. And I've started having the ability to access some of my older memories, but none of them fit. Like, I can't put them on. Like, it used to be that you, like, close your eyes and you imagine yourself in a memory that you're living in, and it's you. Even if it's, like, a memory from when you were a child, it feels like you. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, your memories are yourself. But, like, the memories that I was accessing, I was able to remember that these things had happened, but it felt like they had happened to someone else. And I had to kind of confess to my therapist, like, in the past couple of years, I've sort of felt like I'm maintaining Lauren's friendships for her until she gets back. Which is a strange sensation. have that level of disconnect with people who you care about and the things that have happened in your life, where it's kind of like, I feel like I've inherited Lauren's life, and I've inherited Lauren's relationships and some of her skills and knowledge and so on. But it's not mine. And it's very odd. And I was talking to my therapist about this specific to memory, and how my memories now don't feel like mine. And I have them, but it feels like I'm trying to run software on the wrong hardware, you know? And it sort of boots up maybe, but things aren't quite going the way they're supposed to. And I told her something that I wanted to ask, actually, was folks who've gone through a major shift in identity, whether it's because they've transitioned or something else like fundamental has shifted in their sense of self and their ability to interact with the world. If this is a common experience. And she said, well, you don't have to ask anyone, Lauren, because I can just tell you. That is, I don't remember, there's a name for it. There's a term for it. But basically, if you shift your identity, if your brain shifts, the memories were all made on your old neural pathways. I've talked about it before on the stream. Like, there was a point in my life that I was diagnosed as sort of having a personality disorder. I didn't meet the full diagnostic criteria for like the full-fledged, big, bad, really difficult to live with version. But I had enough of it. Like, I met enough of the diagnostic criteria that my therapist started treating me as somebody who had that disorder with like a treatment plan based on that. And I did a huge amount of work. Around 2018 and 2019 especially was where a lot of that really kicked in, to such a degree that I've now been to get diagnosed by like a team of psychologists who said, you know, we'll take your word for it that you had this diagnosis in the past, but you do not have that now. In order to stop having a personality disorder, you literally change your personality. And that doesn't mean like, oh, well, I went from being a friendly person and now I'm unfriendly or vice versa. Like, that's not the kind of personality that we're talking about here. But it is the neural pathways that make up who you are and how you engage with the world. And you basically rewire your brain so that you're utilizing different neural pathways. And those new neural pathways may be healthier and not have the disordered tendencies that you had in the past. And so part of the shift in my, like the healing from this is, has been like developing a kind of secondhand paper mache version of a sense of self. But I have that now as opposed to nothing. And so, like, quite literally, I am not, and like, you know, we all grow and evolve and change, and we are never the same iteration of ourself that we were last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But even beyond that, like, literally, I have a different brain. It works differently. I am Lauren 2.0, you know? And so Lauren 1.0's memories are they're never going to feel like me. She's never coming back, you know? I can try to take care of Lauren's relationships for her until she comes back, but she's never coming back. And so instead, I have to make connections with people with the version of me that I am now. And you know, sometimes if you have a friend that you haven't seen in a very long time and then you become friends, like somebody you knew when you were a kid and then you reconnect as an adult, and the adult you and the adult them see whether you're compatible as friends again. And so that's something that I think happens to everybody again as you grow and change. But in this case, because it was such a shift, there's a lot of grief in there because she's gone. She's never coming back. That's enormous and very hard. But there's a reason why she had to go away. And I have inherited from her, you know, the the way that I was trying to put it into terms that I can understand for myself. So I've started watching Doctor Who with my stepdad because he's British, and I was like, I'm the next regeneration of Lauren. So I have her connections to people. I have her memories and her friends and all of that. When I look at somebody, I can know this is why she loved them, and I can love them. But there's a little distance between those two, and I can love them now just as she loved them, but in my own way. And there's something in the Doctor after a regeneration kind of being like, oh, what that's interesting. What happened there? What were you doing? What was he doing? How do I fix this mess that he made that I have to clean up and things like that? It's kind of like that. So that's interesting. So it's not like the pieces went away, and it's not like I'm not the same person, but I'm also not the same person. So that's been something I've been mulling over for the past few weeks. This is my birthday present to myself. Was a bit of an identity crisis in therapy. And I talk about this sort of thing. Yeah, serious thing. I talk about this sort of thing partly because I want other people who are maybe struggling with related things to know that they're not the only ones. Partly because I think it's really interesting. And I like to share the interesting things that I find. Like, look what I've got in my pocket. You know, there's some lint and a rock and an interesting fact about psychology. And it's relevant to Disco Elysium too. I have been describing Harry and Ocelot as though they are two people, but not two people, if that makes sense. Like, we're not talking about separate personalities here, but there is a disconnect there. There is a distance. And when Ocelot, as we are now, engages with Harry as we look back at him then, there is this feeling of looking at a different person. There is this feeling of being an observer on the outside, of having this disconnect, of maybe trying on someone else's memories the way you might put on a coat that doesn't quite fit. So it's actually relevant to the game. See? And okay, so maybe Ocelot has lost Harry, and that unfortunately means that he's lost some of the good of Harry as well. But there's a reason why that change had to happen. And he's allowed to mourn the good that was lost with Harry. And he's allowed to grieve that. And he's allowed to be angry about the things that have changed. But he's also... Oh, geez. Okay. Sorry about that. I hit a button and it did something. He's also allowed to decide for himself who Ocelot is and to give himself the space to be who he wants to be as Ocelot and not have to be bound to who Harry was or what Harry did. Like, yes, he has to accept responsibility for what Harry did, and he has to try to make good on it. But in terms of who to be, he doesn't have to be Harry. He can depart from Harry however he'd like. So, yeah. And so, those of you who watched me when I started streaming Deltarune, and I was like, for folks who haven't seen me since Undertale, like 6 years ago, things have changed a bit. I think that was, some of this is what I was trying to get at there without having a full understanding of the situation. And for those of you who have been kind of jumping back and forth between like the old Lauren and the new Lauren, like, does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway. I wanted to talk about that. I haven't actually talked to a lot of my friends about that yet because it's very personal. But when I talk about things like that on stream, I'm doing it not for myself, if that makes sense. So it doesn't matter if it's complicated or not, because it's not about me. It's about this now being something that you know and your brain can take and use as you see fit. Anyway. Yes, girls. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, girls. 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 I do like them a lot. There's Aerith. And Zagreus, who shares a brain cell with me. There's Locke and the Wandersong Bard, who is voiced by my friend John Robert Matz. And there behind Aerith is the Black Cauldron, the Atari ST Sierra graphical text adventure game. Here we have the Earthbound kids and Starman. And there's a confusion. And that's a Camp Fan Gamer bandana. And then over here, well, we've got Sans, Locke, Zagreus, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and a cat. I really have to bring Toriel in here. I think she belongs back there. Oh, and then there's my that's Toriel. You can't see her, but she's playing flute. Standing on a box of gifts that I received from folks who watched my stream way back in the day. I had a P.O. box briefly. Anyway, I'm going to switch to the game. No, I don't have a kitty named Toriel. I have a stuffed Toriel that I need to bring in. No, I have a cat named Sophie, but I do not have a cat named Toriel. All right. Are you ready to return to Disco Elysium? Thanks for letting me ramble about that, friends. I know that was a long one, and I figure you're here. You know what you're getting into. Or you'll put me on chipmunk mode and go through it on fast. Or is that speedrunning? Are you speedrunning? Are those of you on chipmunk mode, are you speedrunning Disco Elysium? Or Discourse Elysium, excuse me. I think you are. Speedrunning Discourse Elysium. Put it on turbo mode. Anyway, no, I am not still seeing the girl in part 1 of the series. We dated for about 3 months, and she's an absolutely delightful and kind person. But I think there was only the potential for friendship there as that developed. So I need to get back in touch with her. We've been kind of sending each other messages, but haven't kept super in touch. No, then there've been some other girls that I've been interested in. But I don't know if it's a good idea to act on any of that. So I'm just, floating along. Got through a health crisis, so we'll go with that. All right. Friends are great, and I have actually had an issue with not having enough friends or not being able to keep my friendships going. But my brain is maybe getting a bit better with the iron, so we're good. And I have a bunch of medical procedures coming up that will hopefully make everything else better. But nothing that should affect my streaming and stuff. There is a surgery in the summer, but it's a minor one, so we should be fine. Anyway. Okay. When I did my Overcoming Shyness and Making Friends panel at MagFest a couple of weeks ago, so I can share that if they decide to post it. If you're interested in that. And we will continue on this grand adventure of trying to make friends. So, 2. Everything is sad and shit, and we need art to make it okay. Just give me the brush. We will see whether Cindy likes that or not.
Sounds like you're just about to live out your self-pity, not make a statement. I can't have shit art on my conscience.
Wow. Okay. She takes herself super seriously. Actually, I have an idea of how to deal with Cindy. No, I'm gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this, friends.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
We're going to
Can't you tell?
do this.
I haven't really.
We're gonna do this.
Let's
We're
be
gonna do
realistic.
this.
You heard your partner, Piggy. What for?
For art, it's okay. Or for
Well, if it's for art, but what kind of art are we talking about?
I think I'm going to have to be honest with her. That is the result of my trying to say the right thing to her. Trying to get a read on her. Trying to figure out how to manipulate the situation so that I can make Cindy like me. And then I think at the end of the day, what I'm learning is that I can't actually manipulate Cindy into liking me. So I think I'm just going to have to be honest. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Then you have time to find your own fucking brush.
Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Cool, no brush then, not a problem. You'll see, you will all see and tremble. To crush a man's dreams like that, I hope you're happy. Nope, no brush then, not a problem. That's fine, whatever, I didn't need it anyway. I don't think I'm going to be able to get you to do this. I think I'm going to have to do it myself.
You're about to cry internally, aren't you, Piggy? Oh, pathetic. Just give up. Art isn't for you.
Wow. I actually don't... I'm sorry. I'm really curious about this now. I'm sorry, I'm really curious about how this is working. We are Save-scumming partly because I find her really interesting. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
I'm actually really curious.
Can't you tell? I haven't really... Yeah?
Let's be realistic.
You heard your partner, Pig. What for?
I'm really curious what she says here, but I'm going to do this one.
Well, if it's for art, sounds like you're just about to live out your self-pity.
You'll see, you will
Not
all
make
see
a
and tremble.
statement. Yeah, not gonna hold my breath, Piggy. You look like you'd suck. Everything really.
I think there may be literally no way to do this well. To be fair, it was a complete freak accident that I was able to get the quest to do this in the first place. I don't know why this one in particular. I think it's just that I don't know, like...
Hello again, officers. Have you come? What for?
What happens if I do this?
What do you think I'm trying to paint here? A mural for a better tomorrow? Why do you really need it?
For art.
Well, if it's for art... But what kind of art are we talking
I
about?
really want to see how she makes fun of him for this.
Let me stop you right there, Piggy. You have no idea, do you? No idea. No brush? Fuck off.
Okay. Okay.
There, Piggy. I guess art just isn't really you. 'Cause you suck in life and in everything.
Okay. Okay, actually, you know what? No. No. We're just gonna sit on this for a minute. I hope you folks don't mind. This is, like, the only real save-scumming I've done in this game. I'm gonna have to figure something else out before I come to her. I think I need to know what I'm going to paint before I ask her for a brush. Fascinating. That makes sense, though. Her whole thing is that she can't make up her mind what she's going to paint. Something's going to happen to make that something. Is this her balcony? I don't usually try to save scum. Like, usually it's not something I want to do. Oh, wow, that is actually really cool looking. Look at that. That is really cool. Well done, Cindy. The door is locked. You can't get in. The chair's new. Someone lives back here. Huh, okay. I guess I'll take some money. Above, tarps flap in the wind. Forgotten hammers and nails rust. Somebody lives back there, though. Huh. Interesting. I'll have to figure that out. But in the meantime, I have a little bit of money. I don't know that I have much in the way of conceptualization. I guess it's not that bad. I haven't put points into it. What items have I got? Good night, Egg. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. It's about 5 hours before I start streaming usually, so it'll be earlier in the day unless something goes wrong. What gives me conceptualization? My shirt. Oh. I need to get a poet shirt or poet clothes. That's a bed with a cat on it. Cat on the sheets, though. Somebody sleeps here. There's a Cinderella. Someone's been sleeping here recently. All right. Let's see. What do we think about this? This is blue, so this is with your thinking, not your feeling. Cindy, yeah. Yeah, it would make sense for this to be Cindy's. I will never forget her name again. Hey, Chrono, are you handy? Would you mind grabbing the link for Cindy? I don't know if you have that handy. If not, I'll share it. You know what I'm talking about. There is actually on AO3, the fanfic site, there is an original story that somebody wrote that is a retelling of Cinderella. That is one of the funniest things I have ever read on the internet. If you are looking for something entertaining and wonderful to read, may I recommend, Chrono's going to grab the link for you, Cindy on AO3 by, I believe, Night Writer is the name of the author. I love it. If you're like, what is Lauren's sense of humor? It is Cindy by Night Writer on AO3. Yeah, so Cinderella. Cindy for short. Yes, okay, perfect. Chrono's got it for you. Dive right on in. There are several chapters. Cinderella is told from a plastic deck chair while drunk at 1 a.m. It is... I love it. I love it very much, and you might just like it too. So, I recommend that. I guess I'll post that link for YouTube as well. No, I would love to be able to buy it and put it on my shelf. It just makes me really happy. Yeah, I feel like if you're here, you're going to like it. It has weirdness, clown shoes, heart, compassion, fundamental love of humans, while also recognizing their failings. It's pretty great. I love it. Okay, anyway. So, proper Cinderella here, huh? Enough coal to last for several winters. Smells of chemicals. How interesting. I gotta go digging around in here. The man's laborer jeans. Are these jorts. Are these jorts? I think these might be jorts. Oh my god. They're jorts. I'm very excited about the jorts. Okay. Okay, so I'd have to actually break that open. That's probably where she stores her stuff that she doesn't want somebody to just walk off with. All right. All right, they're not actually jorts. Damn. Who here followed jorts on social media? I thought it would be appropriate to have a laborer pants that are jorts. But maybe this game predates jorts on social media. Although these jeans look worn, the wearer must have had an ass given to them by the mighty Lord himself. Oh my god. What? Oh. All right. That beautiful peach-shaped man-ass has imprinted itself so deep in the fabric, you can't but wonder if wearing them would start molding your own vague rear side into a more shapely form as well. God-ass. Hindsighted. Oh, but I could put these on and go see what Roy is on. Yeah. The writing is really fantastic. If they had done this with any less, like if they had not committed to this so utterly, it would have been like, I would not have been so amused. Because I'd be like, oh, ha, they're pants with a butt. Uh-huh. That's very funny. That beautiful peach-shaped man-ass has imprinted itself so deep in the fabric, you can't but wonder. I think it probably means you can't help but wonder. Like, it's amazing. This is really great. I'm really delighted. All right, Cindy, I got your ass pants. And I saw your cat sheets. And I'm not going to smash open and take your stuff because that feels rude. Okay, so if Cindy is squatting, that's why they named her Cindy, though. It's very clever. Mazov. Bottle. M-E-R-D-E. Is that a swear? Okay. So it appears like this is saying that how do I zoom in? No, no, no. There's a way to zoom in. How do I zoom in? Book a Book Book. Okay, first of all, Book a Book Book is an amazing name. And I love your name. And also, I appreciate your sense of humor. That is a very funny, funny post. I don't have a scroll wheel. I have a touchpad. Is there anything else that I can use? No. Menu. That's the map, not the menu. Controls. Wait a minute. There we go. Wait, did I just crash it? No, I didn't. That says Avenue. AVE. That's off. And then this shows the door, an arrow, and a that was like a bottle. And then this, which I guess means shit. So what? Drunken communists live here? Shall we go investigate the drunken communists? Oops. Oh man. Okay, well, I'm just gonna look at everything too much. Unless this is the door I came from. No, this is the door I came from. Okay, well, whatever. Something for the rich. Sorry, I got distracted. We were gonna go talk to Joyce. Oh. The sea below looks cold and winter gray. Hey, remember when I leveled up? Remember when I leveled up off of this refrigerator? Yes, I really like this song in here. Okay. All right.
Give me a moment.
Okay. Yeah, no. What is this? I'm pretty sure I didn't take people's change last time around because I felt like that was... Do I want to take somebody's boots? I don't know what something being outlined in yellow means. Marie? Yes, sneaky. I'm the slowest person in the world. Sorry. That looks like that might say Guillaume. T-H-T-A-R. I don't know what that is. There's a door, but that door's not going to open. Should I know what... Wait, what is that? Should I know what the yellow outline means? Okay, it's not explained anywhere. Okay. You know, yes, if it's not explained and it should be explained, or I should have noticed it and I haven't, sure. You may tell me. No spoilers, be careful. What does the yellow outline indicate? Oh, okay, so a skill has made it so that I see that. Okay, I have absolutely... Okay, so that means that that must be like shivers or something that because I haven't put any... I don't think I've put any points... Oh, maybe that's reaction speed, actually. Or perception. Yeah, okay. Perception. Okay. So I should put more points in perception is what I'm hearing. Because then I'll notice things. Like these shoes. So it doesn't mean that they're going to be stealing. Oh, there's money in the shoes. I feel bad about that. I am playing with 1 health. That is correct.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10.
Yep, instant death mode. Okay, look. I have my priorities. I keep forgetting what color physique is because it never comes up. The only skill I'm interested in of the red category is shivers, and I can't make it any higher, or I would, I promise. I know, well, I can see its physique here, but when I was trying to remember the colors earlier, I was like, okay, purple and blue I know, because purple is empathy and blue is encyclopedia and rhetoric, who are my friends. Encyclopedia hasn't been as loud lately. Logic's been speaking up a bit more. Inland Empire's been behaving. Probably put another point in volition. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, Half-Light wanted to kick the racist's ass, and now it's done. Now it's done forever. Alright, let's see what happens if we knock on number 10 and see what happens. And see what happens. And see if something happens. I have no idea. It's noon. That's not a bad time to go around talking to people. We'll knock on that.
The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door.
Okay.
You can feel tension on the other side.
Hi, Inland Empire. Let's try knocking one more time. Hopefully we won't get murdered. It could happen.
A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Oh, that is the wrong line that they gave me. What it actually says is, this time, the steps come closer. Who is this? Demands a female voice, wary and tense. This might go terribly. But I've got to actually play the game. This is the police. Open up.
Do I have to open the door?
You hear the clacking of heels again as the other side walks right up to the door. Her tone is now getting a defensive edge.
Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment.
It's generally easier to do things if you have literally any reason.
Okay, that's fair. I, however, am going to load that and not do that. Logic is explaining a little bit about how the game works to me. That I should have a reason to want to talk to these people. And I don't think I do, actually. So... yeah, logic is like, you could be doing this very early in the game and not have figured that out. So we'll explain that to you. And I'm like, well, no, that makes sense. And I probably should have figured that out, but I don't understand how anything works. Yes, my reason is that I want to talk to everybody because I'm Lauren. My excuse is that I'm a nosy protagonist. Let's be real. Well, to be fair, talking to people isn't necessarily Monkey Island logic. Well, shall we, folks? Yeah, what's the thing is I thought we might knock on that door and say, like, hello, we have questions about this murder that happened, but... No, she can't be Margaret Thatcher. She's actually charming. I mean, I'm not wrong. I'm not defending her politics. But she is a personally charming person. And she does have humanity in there. Alright. Did Kim say that I should talk? No, I talked to Kim already, right?
Yes?
Oh, I can tell him about the pail. Oh, I don't know that that's a good idea. All right. I'm going to think on that. Kim will be very upset if he thinks I've been sneaking out without him. All right. I guess I should talk to Joyce here. And see how it goes. I could give her... Not that. No. My officer profile is incomplete. But I do have my badge. Yes. He looks much less awful there. I should probably equip myself for a boss fight. Potentially. Can't hold that. Okay, then I presume. Man, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I could sell for some things. I guess I might actually be able to get through this game. All right. I don't know what do I want to have equipped? What do I want to have equipped for Joyce? Encyclopedia is a good idea. Jacket makes me less intimidating. Honestly, at this point, I'm going in on the defense, which is a bad idea. No, so I want to let her know that I've done the research and I also could prove to her that I'm an actual cop. So the problem with showing her my badge is that I know, because my brain told me so. I think it was that my brain told me so. It may have also been that Kim told me so. I don't remember. Neither Ocelot nor I can remember anything. But I know that his badge indicates that they've twice tried to promote him high ranking. If Joyce sees this badge, well, actually, no. Because I was going to say, if Joyce sees this badge, it's going to give her information on my character that I don't know if I want her to have that much. You had to know we were going to overanalyze some stuff here. On the other hand, I think Joyce has actually figured out that he is quite intelligent, quite competent and capable in some ways. And so I think if I were to present to Joyce this evidence that this man they've tried to promote him to captain twice, and he has said no. Some part of her might be like, oh, they must be desperate. And then some part of her would also probably be like, perhaps this man was quite remarkable before he destroyed his mind and body with substances. Which is, I think, the right conclusion to draw. And so I feel like I think that this would be giving her confirmation of something she already suspects. But I don't know that she could use it against me. But she knows, like, I don't even know the things that I've forgotten, so there may very well be something about it that would give her some sort of an upper hand. Because I could just do that and not give her the results of my investigation. Because we did the investigation. And I don't know if I want... Because I told Tommy that this woman would be safe. And I think that Kim... Okay. Trying to remember. It's been over a month. That's my defense here. I think that Kim had some misgivings about giving this information to Joyce. But I think Kim also pointed out the possibility that this organized crime could have some sort of presence in the RCM. So we will have to tread carefully. But I think Kim didn't want us to tell her that, or wanted us to be very careful and intentional about what we told her. But I could also just not tell her. And I could just show her my badge and say, this is all the proof that you need that you should help me out. Rather than making me scratch your back before you'll scratch mine. That's two. I think those are both viable quests. Or viable options to progress in this quest. Because yeah, Kim had misgivings. I don't remember exactly what they were, but I think Kim said basically, don't fuck it up. You know? Because I think he said, let's talk about this before we go talk to her. And then we did. Maybe I should rewatch that before we go do this. Maybe I should do that between now and next stream. And that way I will be prepared for Joyce. Mr. Chu, thank you for subscribing, friend. Welcome. Hope you are enjoying your stay here. I'm gonna just wander around. I suppose I could talk to this child. I don't really want to talk to this child. Not that child. Certainly not that child. I don't want to talk to that child. I probably should talk to that child. I am putting off talking to Joyce, I think, until next week. Because I think I want... Wait, what's that? Can I go through here? What is this? No. Could probably smash my way into there, but I don't know that I want to do that right now. We may do that later. I have a crowbar after all. It gives me powers. And that power is to hit things really hard. Well, to hit things questionably hard. Let's be real. I have 1 point in body. And it's the point that I came with. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff going on, and I want to refresh myself and actually look at some of that conversation, because Joyce is actually a boss fight, you know? I could buy a book. I could give Kuno a book. I bet he'd like that. I should get him a book. What book should I get Kuno? Dick Mulligan. I should get Kuno Dick Mulligan. I don't know if I'm going to, but I could. No, I'm pretty sure that Kuno did actually talk about... There was something that he said. Okay, hold on, let's see.
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly stalwart Vespertine detective.
Okay, so
Dick Mulligan.
Dick Mulligan is $8.
Shelves full of biographies of famous people, whoever they are.
There's a biography that is $4.70.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature.
Medicinal purposes of the pale. That actually means something to me now. Oh, I'm interested. Oh, I'm interested. No, I did not punch Kuno. I sort of befriended him. He has decided that I am his pig. I'm gonna try to rehabilitate him like that much. So I want to get him a book. He clearly loves books, so I want to get him a book. What are these games? These are the games, right?
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes.
I don't have the money.
There are numerous types of games for
Wait,
all ages.
we're all...
A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Okay. The game makers didn't have anything to do with that one, right? Oh man. And then this is it's one of the Euro games. Okay. Okay.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
Do any of the books call out to me? No, I don't have enough pain tolerance. Okay, so we're all... They were... Okay, that's interesting. All right, so I could get that game and learn something about that. I wonder if I'm going to get to know any of the people who worked on that. Okay. I think at some point I would like to get Kuno a book. Oh, grimdark but with Wirral creatures. Okay. Have I talked to these two yet today? See if anything's new.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Thanks, Plaisance. You're such an interesting person. All right, so these two, I think, are probably set. Look, I'm still wearing your friendship hat.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
You are the best. Okay. Sorry, I have to check on my friends, and this I checked the price tags of some books. I think I might buy a book for the child. Oh wait.
The woman before you.
Okay, what am I noticing here? You memorize the title. Loose 87 Radio City. Seems important.
Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking.
Do I have a reason to think that her husband is missing? Is that something that... Radio City, okay. Loose 87. So that was actually quite some time ago. I am a nosy policeman, that is true.
The woman before you.
Alright, so I've noticed what book she's reading. Clearly having points in that's a good thing to put points in. I need to get more experience so that I can put more points in things. Yeah, no, I remember that Lena did. Oh, shall we intimidate a man for a sandwich? Okay.
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I head the citizens' militia on this fine day?
Okay. Do I have any rhetoric items? My rhetoric is only 6. My odds aren't very high. I have anti-rhetoric items? Really? But I'm not wearing them. I'm pretty sure that's the toque. Which I'm never gonna wear. Because it's for the opposite of my character build, and it would require that I take off my friendship hat, and that is not happening. Well, shall we give it a try? Pale Perambulator, thank you for subscribing. 3 months in advance. Oh, thank you. That is very generous of you. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, well, we're going to try the sandwich thing. 8 or higher. Okay. We'll try this. Probably not going to work.
A man so principled about his sandwich calls for a principled approach. Time to get political.
Oh man, so I think I haven't wanted to play through this. Have I tried this? Because one of these answers has been chosen. So it indicates to me. Oh, Volition gave me an out last time. I mean, to be fair, I have apparently made Ocelot a centrist. After all of my critique of Gaston for his centrism, I have turned out no better. Because communism was delivered in the biggest clown shoes imaginable. And like hell, I'm going to say yes to fascism. So here we are. The game has not really provided me with, I don't think, an alternative beyond that. So, alas, I don't think I am tripping knee-deep in politics. I guess we could commit to this. We could make this be the session where we fail to get the sandwich instead of just giving up. All right. Or I could pick the wishy-washy I don't know. There's a white check, so you can do it again once you put more points in rhetoric, which, let's be real, is a thing I might do. All right. I'm already tripping knee-deep in politics, baby. Let's see what happens.
You really do. Now, unleash the fury.
Oh, I could actually get out of this if I wanted to, okay? Okay, I refuse to say the racist answer. I just... Yeah, I think I can just step out of this. Or I could just make him really uncomfortable. Renee will be very unhappy with me. That'd be funny. The sandwich is the opiate of the masses. I'm a high rhetoric build, but it doesn't seem to have helped me very much with the sandwich so far. But then again, I haven't really seriously tried this. I'm on a single roll. Sure, let's see what happens. Your blood sandwich is a tool of the oppressors, designed to keep the proletariat docile.
What? What oppressors?
Kim does not approve of this.
I am not going to listen to this comic connery.
He utters through clenched teeth and turns his back to you. Told you Renee was going to get mad at me.
Huh?
The jolly man is scratching his head in bewilderment. He doesn't understand the situation. I'm sorry. No. I just don't do clown shoes very well. So I'm just like, this is so goofy and weird, but not in a way that I like. I just don't. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just don't. I also lost friendship points with both of those two. Yeah, I think this may not be the time that I get the sandwich. I just don't understand. It just doesn't vibe with me. It doesn't pass the Lauren check. No sandwich, alas. Yeah, no, that's absolutely clown shoes communism, which is why I didn't take the communism thought, much to the dismay of the entirety of YouTube. Okay, May, that is fair. The things that Ocelot was presented with as options to give are, like, if I saw those on Twitter, I would not have blinked an eye. I would just be like, it's Twitter being Twitter. I don't know. I'm just too... I'm too something for that style of humor to fit right. Where, like, well, I'm basically, at that point, I'm picking answers because they're there instead of because I like them, if that makes sense. Like, it's definitely meant to be a joke. Like, it's very clearly meant to be funny. It's very clearly not meant to be taken seriously. But I don't think it's funny. It just makes me uncomfortable. And I just don't like picking answers that feel weird or make me uncomfortable. So... I just, like... I would never... I wouldn't. But if he, like... The thing is, like... If he had some total nonsense thing... Or was, like, so dramatic. It was like, man, I'm starving to death. Or I'm going to, you know, we could feed the pigeons. There's an entire pigeon colony that would benefit from this. Just think about that. Like, I could pick that. That level of absurdity, I would be like, yeah, hell yeah. That's my jam. But alas. I don't know. I just don't like it. There was a thing, but I think I can no longer do it because I've already got the answer, which is that I vaulted my car. I think that's what that thing was. But maybe I could visual calculus it. Maybe I could visual calculus it and... Okay, I guess it's not here. Okay, so I've looked in here, and I would definitely have to do some breaking and entering to go beyond that. Yeah, no, like, the sandwich is definitely, like, they're definitely picking the least consequential thing to give you... Hold on. Like, it's easily, like, the least consequential thing. It really looks like I should be able to pick those bottles up, but I can't. And they're trying to force you into picking an answer. Like, that is funny. Yes. Oh, right! I forgot that the title screen song plays here for some reason. Which I'm not allowed to look up the song, apparently. It's a spoiler. How's that not a thing? Oh, I'm gonna look in here. Maybe I've already looked in here. Oh, look at that! I'm gonna take your trash. Okay, there, we've zoomed out. Oh, there was a thing inside. What is that? Oh, that's a thing maybe I couldn't see before because I didn't have a point in it. Okay. There is a lot more money around if you put points into seeing things. There's a box over there. That's right, this was somebody's little summer hut. And a playground. Ocelot was like, there's money in here. Oh, okay. Man, I'm going so slowly. I thought that was the... Okay, that was the zoom in and zoom out. I got that. Mixed up. Okay. I'm just going to wander around a little bit here then. Because I'm interested. And I'm going to hold off on Joyce until I've got... What is that? Okay, that's a tree. This is another rundown house. Take a look at that. Through the broken glass, dusty shelves and a forgotten chair. So nobody's been here for a while. No, I was going really slowly. Kim got mad at me for running too much. So now we won't run. Yeah, I guess I'll go inside. Hopefully we won't die. I have played enough Sierra games that, like, you never know when, like, you're gonna have to, like, immediately run off the screen because, like, there's, like, a witch who's gonna eat you, or some thieves who are gonna take your stuff, or maybe Batman. That chair looks significant. Why is there just a single chair here? You see a dark red chair in the dim light of the room, and I have a thought, a feeling about it.
It's only a red chair. Just a red chair in an empty shack, with what looked like a dusty bow tie on the shelf. Nothing to see here, right?
That's just strange. Hey, Kim, where are we?
In someone's abandoned shack. On the coast. In Martinez. In Ravachol.
I love that Kim is like, I cannot take for granted that you remember that we're in Martinez and Ravachol.
He's afraid you've forgotten suddenly.
What's with the red chair?
Nothing. It's just a piece of furniture.
He looks at the chair, gathering dust.
Red paint is peeling off it. Looks like blood, no?
All right, let's move. I feel like I keep getting these thoughts and then doing something wrong. Wait. Why did my inventory flash? Did you see that? The inventory thing changed colors. Like I had picked up something new. But I didn't pick up something new. Why did it do that? Glitch. Coal City 08. We'll look at that. And a bow tie. You know, it was doing that. No, but the item has something. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's new. Oh, man. Okay. Postcard. Coal City 08. This postcard depicts a forest of smokestacks. Oh, that is a great phrase. Releasing fat plumes of smoke into blue, cloudless sky. The tinge of age, the color of old teeth, gives it a sickly look. Written on the back is a single sentence repeated twice. I got out. I got out. No address C. Yeah, being a factory worker really, really, really sucked. A lot. Like, a lot. Like, we've talked about this before in various streams, but the regulations that currently exist to try to keep people from dying on the job were, what, one with blood? This speaks of some degree of trauma of somebody who had worked as a factory worker. And has to remind themselves, look, it looks like the red paint is on here. It looks like it comes from the same place. You're sure that wearing this tie is a statement. You're not sure what kind of statement, though. Can I even take off the horrific necktie? I can! I thought it was a cursed item. Okay, well, that's exciting. And interesting. I'm kind of sorry that I missed unlocking something else in here. Like, I was able to look at the chair, but not go anywhere with it. Well, right, but you know, like a cursed item, like in a Final Fantasy game. Or an RPG in general, where it means that you can't take it off. Oh. Oh, hold on. Sounds of life in the north. A washboard scrubs filth from fabric. Okay, so there's actually people out here somewhere. Well, that's exciting. And this right here is a much bigger looking place. Sorry, Kim, but I'm investigating everything. I'm a cop. I investigate. That's what I do, right? You want that. You want me to investigate. Oh, there's a person who's sleeping in a situation that does not look very comfortable for people. Oh, wow. Cinder blocks charred. A makeshift fire pit with magazines for lighting. The details really let you know. Allez-vous-en. So let's go. Does this mean let's go to you? Go away? Okay. It's a command, okay. Well, I'm not very good at that. You see dust-covered linens, dried tulips on a bed. That being painted on the roof indicates that they are trying to communicate perhaps with people who are flying overhead. Which would make sense if this had been a thing some time ago. You know, if they had to worry about being bombed. What a way, basically painting fuck off on the roof of your house. Enter Isolary trousers. +1 to Kingdom of Conscience. Pardon? Excuse me? Does this mean that I'm going to be able to get pants for like the other things? Centrist trousers. Tailored trousers in light brown, moderate in every aspect. They're absolutely unremarkable. In other words, perfect. Amazing. Sun trousers, yes. That's interesting. White curtains have been drawn shut. No looking in. Oh wait, that's a person I can talk to there.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
Oh, that's a bench.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
Okay.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
So that's a little concerning, knowing that Kim might be gone at some point, not at night. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Oh. The bushes are too thick and thorny to pass through. So we have to go around this way. Oh. A wetting stone, well worn and covered in rust. Construction material. Whoever plans to build this house left in a hurry. All right. It's a little shanty town. Wow. All right. I'm going to look at the things and then I'll talk to the people. The street sign is illegible below the graffito. Which if I zoomed in, I could probably see what it says, but I may not be able to read it. Hard to see the details. The colors, all warm and welcoming, are cozy, though. It's a painting? A flower trough where nothing really grows. Maybe in spring. These kids appear to be doing some sort of Jenga-like thing. Okay, so I can talk to the children, or I could take their rocks. I'm not going to take their rocks. Sorry, I have to zoom in and out that way. What is this? Oh, I can take some of this trash. Alright. Shall we talk to the children first? Shall we talk to Granny? I don't know. Granny seems like she's singing a song. Oh, let's look at this. One more building to look at. And then we'll talk to Granny. It's locked tight. You can't see into the house from this angle. Oh, there's a person there too. Let's talk to Granny. Hope you don't mind. I'm just... Ding, ding, dong. Ding, ding, dong. That's not actually an odd melody. I know that song. The woman next to a bucket of clothes hums an odd melody. Her eyes are closed. It's strange because that's not an odd melody. That's a very, very well-known one. In our world, is there something going on there? If it's a melody that's not known in their world, but known in our world, is she perhaps a dimensional traveler? I mean, actually, probably. It's just that they were like, sing a melody, and that's what came to mind.
You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samaran, possibly Sigayan, also known as the apricot sujunti.
Okay.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
She opens her eyes.
Then how does she know you're here?
Cataracts don't mean you can't sense anything. We have footsteps. Well, I'm going to ask her. Good night, Phil. Amazing that my reaction speed is actually doing something. Okay. If you can't see, then how did you know I was here?
I still have a golden ear.
Footsteps.
Come, come.
She beckons you toward her. I'm going to lean forward.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
A shadow passes over her face. She was much friendlier until she realized there's a cop. Now she's concerned. Understandably so.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Fortunately, Kim is very polite and will be very polite to this woman. And he is so soft, spoken like so mild-mannered that I think she may be less uncomfortable with him there.
Trouble? Say the second thing, Bratan. Shows you got style.
I guess I didn't take the other necktie. I should put the other necktie on. Okay. So, the horrific necktie wants me to say, we're cops, we're hellraisers. Click, click, bang, bang. Obviously, we're not going to say that. So I'm going to say what he said. We're cops. We don't cause trouble, we take care of trouble.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
Is it me, or is it the cops in general? I need to know that. So I'm going to say, wait, I've been here before?
No, not you
Okay.
personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another, locked himself in that woodshed over there.
She points to the building behind her.
He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place, somewhere more quiet.
I think what she's saying is he locked himself in there. You knocked down the door and took him someplace where people wouldn't be able to hear what you were doing to him. I'm pretty sure that's what she's saying.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
I don't think that's what she's saying. Conceptualization. I think you're looking into it the wrong way. Now, I may be looking into it too much, but I don't think so. What kind of an ill omen are we talking about?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
Death is on its way.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels.
No, Inland Empire, no. Inland Empire, you're letting me down. That is way too mundane. Come on. Come on, you can do so much better than that, Inland Empire. I don't know exactly what you could do, but you could have something about feeling like a black hound of like death and destruction following you everywhere you go, etc., etc., etc. You could do it. You could do it. So I can either say I am an ill omen, all right, or if I'm considered an ill omen, why hasn't anyone told me that? I think that Ocelot's being kind of dumb, so I'm gonna ask that.
Maybe they are afraid.
Yes, they're not going to tell you that because you're a cop and you have power over them. Why?
Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then. Because that's the kind of fishing village we've built.
All right, so that's a nice little bit of a setting establishment right there. That they wish to be welcoming to everybody, even people in need, even people who might bring trouble. They are going to try to be supportive, at least according to the grandmother.
I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage, and not a lot of houses, or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others.
Yeah, if you can get a chance to get out of a place like this, you frequently do. Yes, Corona, we did find a parking space. No, that's true. So it's interesting she mentions 12 years ago there was an incident. I wonder if that's going to be significant. I'm going to try to file that away in my memory. I can't guarantee I'll succeed.
Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
What is in this fishing village?
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist.
She sounds tired. What do you mean?
This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
I mean, actually, you are on the map. So, that is not what the map shows, but the map says. Sorry, we had to check that.
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
I can say this place is pornographically poor. I'm not going to conceptualization. Conceptualization, why were you not there when I wanted you to be there so that I can impress my pal with my poetry? But now you're out here to be like snobby and weird about these people who are doing their best? Who else lives in this village?
Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east.
It's that way.
But they're away right now.
Okay, interesting. She nods her head across the courtyard.
And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them.
What drunks?
Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Don't have to look long to find these guys.
She slowly shakes her head. There's got to be something here, tell me.
Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox.
The pox? What's that? She waved her hand southwest, which is that way.
An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain.
She looks towards the buildings to the south. Oh, so that fancy-looking building that I saw was not a house at all. It was a hospital.
After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens.
Gosh, I sure hope the cops didn't take somebody out there to the sanatorium gardens and then execute him. Or something like that. I don't know why they would, but, you know, they don't always have to have a reason to exercise their power.
Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinderblock houses. Shacks as far as the eye can see.
What happened to the hospital? Did it turn into a survival horror zone?
The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now.
She tightens the scarf around her neck. Is there a way to make a little money around here?
Here? For you? No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
I'm not going to say this place is pornographically poor. That is just a really rude thing to say. No. It's another topic I'd like
She
to...
nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
Okay. Where could someone stay around here? Might as well know.
Stay? Most people here are trying to leave.
I guess this maybe will be a cheaper place to stay if you don't want to put your money into staying at the Whirling in Rags.
That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack.
Her soapy thumb points to the building behind her. We'll say, how much is it?
I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM.
I can say, wait, hold on, you're just giving it to me? Or, I'm not sure it's appropriate for the RCM to accept free accommodations. Or, there's this guy, Garta, who makes me give him money every night just so I don't die out in the cold. Or, okay, I'll take it. Get keys to your new home. I'm gonna say, wait, hold on, you're just giving it to me?
No one is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. You can stay there.
I think that would be a great option to have. And I think it might be good for Ocelot psychologically to not sleep in that room. But if I'm not paying for that room, I won't be able to access the mirror. But I'm not going to be able to do anything with the mirror until maybe later in the game. I'll have more points. And I can pay for a night at the inn and go talk to the mirror. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put on my hat. I'm gonna ask a very careful question here. Can I ask these or make these other comments 1 and 2? And then also be able to pick answer 3? Yes or no? Okay. I can. Yeah, well, the thing is, for me, it's not just not being above the bar, although that makes sense, but it's also just being surrounded by the place where you attempted, like where Ocelot attempted to drink himself to death. And he's had such miserable, awful times there, I think. Okay, I'm going to say there's this guy Garta who makes me give him money every night just so I don't die out in the cold.
That's exactly how they get ya. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside. So we don't have to give money to those crooks. We might not look like much, but they are ours.
All right, we can. Oh my God, the property management company that owns my building is trying to illegally raise our rents too high and claim that they deserve to be able to raise the rent more than rent control allows, and they've applied for that. So we're gonna have to fight them. It's great. Landlords, man. Toronto has a really big problem with them. It's really, really bad. I've never lived in a place where it's such a big thing. This is not the first time, apparently, that they've done that. So we'll see how that goes. But sucks, man. I'm going to say, wait, why isn't anyone using this room?
My kids grew up and left like they do. The house is long empty now. I live in the small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm.
One more time, I can just have the room?
Aye. The room is pretty bare bones, but it's got a bed and roof over it. That's more than some folks have around here.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, like, Toronto has... I mean, I'm sure you've got friends who've had issues with this, but there's so many predatory landlords. I'm part of some Facebook groups for like communities around town, and the number of people who are like, my landlord is trying to do blah, and people are like, that's literally illegal. That's literally illegal. Go communicate to the landlord tenant board. I'm just like, I mean, I'm thrilled coming from Texas. I'm thrilled that the landlord tenant board is even a thing. I'm thrilled that rent control is even partly a thing. Like there's protections in place that I've never ever dreamed of living in a place to have those protections. But the landlords are like desperately trying to destroy the protections and do whatever they can to scrape more money. And it's very frustrating. Very frustrating. All right. So I can say 1. Yeah, no, I lived most of my life in Texas, but my mom's from Hamilton. So a few years ago, I decided that it would be nice to move to Canada. And I gotta say, given that I've been dealing with some health issues, I really appreciate OHIP so much. Yeah. And there's actually a Labor Day parade, which is literally just parts of the labor movement marching. It's amazing. So cool. Yeah, no, I lived in I've lived in a few different places on my way up here, so the cold is not too bad. Yeah, no, well, it's as bad as my health was last year, and as much as I'm oh no, I have surgery coming up, I don't have to worry about whether I can afford that surgery or not. I can have anxiety about surgery because it's scary, even if it's a small one, but I don't have to worry about paying for anything except my medication. It's amazing. I love it. Yes, I'm having to wait until the summer for a surgery that they knew I was probably going to need in as of last September. I have the biopsy to make sure there's nothing serious this Saturday. So there is a wait, but my friends in the US also have waits that are about as long, and they have to pay through the nose. So yeah, as you get more money, you lose empathy. That absolutely makes sense and kind of explains what I've seen, the road my father has gone down. But yeah, as it is, whenever I have a little money to spare, I'm oh man, let's go see if there's GoFundMes I can go throw this at. You know, I have an extra $10 I can send to mutual aid. I feel like I'm rich, you know? Yeah, it's a whole thing. But we fight to preserve what protections we do have if we're fortunate enough to live in places that have protections. And we try to fight for more protections if we are without them. And hopefully we can come together and keep each other safe. Alright, so my options here, there's pretty great options here. 1, it would help me stay in touch with the proletariat. 2, nod. This could be the first chapter of my rags to riches memoir. Or 3, now this is real Revacholian hospitality. That Garta must be half kipped or something. I don't remember if that is actually an in-game slur or an actual in-game ethnicity. I'm guessing from the context that it may be more of a slur. And then 4, unfortunate that incremental development hasn't elevated this neighborhood yet. I see potential here. I assume that the presence of the word incremental there means that I would get a morale boost if I picked that answer. But fuck it. I don't need much. This sounds just fine. I'm boring and I like that answer and I don't like the others. Okay, so it is a slur. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to pick the racist answer. Yes, I'm going to pick the answer that feels like the right one to say here. I don't care if it's boring. It's the right answer. I'm picking it. I don't need much. This sounds just fine.
An uncomplicated man. I take it that means you're interested.
An uncomplicated man. I'm sure that is exactly how I would choose to describe Mr. Ocelot. No complications here. Very simple, very straightforward. What you see is what you get. No. You got yourself a tenant. I'm going to do this. Kim, I'm going to do this. Yes, streamer refuses to keep in touch with the proletariat. Well, it's already been established that I just would be no good as a communist, so. I'm just not comfortable throwing my lot in with any sort of ideal, apparently. Okay, let's get a free room.
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
A key appears from under her apron. She hands it to you. I hope that I can do small things to help her out. That would be lovely, actually. I'm going to have to... God, I hope. I don't know if this is the kind of game, the kind of storytelling that will let them be like, you sense that this thing, like you see this thing's a little bit off. You can try to fix it or pay to get it fixed and make it nicer. Yes, helping old ladies with chores is the power fantasy we deserve. That's the kind of thing I want to be able to do in a game. You know? Don't you? A key appears from under her apron. She hands it to you.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
That's right, Kim.
He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've seen Ocelot cry himself to sleep 2 nights in a row there. And, like, basically taking psychic damage. I think it would be really nice for him to not be in the room that he tried to die in. You know?
Should he? This environment encourages one thing, and one thing only. Drinking.
I don't think that's true, Volition. I mean, I appreciate the warning. I do appreciate the warning. But there's drinking in the Whirling in Rags as well.
Finally, you have those lame-os of Martinez off your back, Bratan. This looks like a great place to bring chicks.
Great. I would actually put the word lame and then hyphen O's. Lame-os. Otherwise, it looks like it should be Lamos. Well, no, but Volition, I think, I tend to trust Volition. I don't always listen to it, but I tend to trust it. I value its input. And so it is expressing concern. It is letting me know that I am potentially putting Ocelot at risk of backsliding if I'm not careful. Which I hadn't thought about, but it is a good point. Like, that's warning you as a player, I think, which is a good reminder. What's further down the coast?
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even.
I want to go there. Oh my god. Why is it abandoned?
Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
I am very North American, and I'm like, man, 300-year-old building, damn.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
Alright, Kim is world building for me right now.
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church.
Okay. That's interesting. I'm very curious about that. Why is it a cursed church?
She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking.
This feels too direct. I get the feeling you're leaving stuff out. What else is going on? Or what else is on down coast? If I pick number 2 here, will I have the chance to pick number 1? Okay. So I really cannot tell a lot of times, so I'll pick that. I get the feeling you're leaving stuff out. What else is going on?
Well, there's that music. Music from across the sea. Huh. It started a few days ago, and now it's blasting, even through the night.
Music from across the sea blasting? What? What?
And now, suspicious-looking people are sneaking around the church. I don't like that.
I'm gonna meddle. I'm gonna stick this big ol' nose into everyone else's business and probably get myself killed. It's gonna be great. I cannot wait.
Interesting. You could look into this ruckus if you have the time.
Already on it, Logic.
Perhaps the mysterious music is somehow connected to the case. A Rusalka or a half-demonic Apsara singing.
Amazing. Okay, yes, I'm totally down with that. All right. What else is on down coast?
Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty.
I don't know what an Apsara is, but I'm familiar with Rusalka. Because I read a lot of fairy tales and folk tales from around the world. And operas and other stories. All right. Yes, an apartment complex or electrical plant. Those are quite different. Which is it then? Apartments or electrical plant?
I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara.
Anything else of note?
Of note? The old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed.
Who'd want to come to a fish market here?
No one. That's why it's closed. It was once a bustling place, back when I was young. And so was everyone else.
The children are all leaving. That is such a thing. It is interesting that I can be just direct with her and she's not offended by it.
Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or somewhere else.
Huh. All right. That's it. There's got to be more along the coast.
What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Lancet.
Okay, I just want to know what everything is called and where it is and how it works so that I can investigate it. That's all.
Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible.
Are you hearing what I'm hearing? Meddling plus property damage! Amazing. Okay. Yes, I'm glad to know that place is on following where I'm going. Incredible. Excellent. Yes. Sophie's violence. That's the perfect response.
And now you know everything there is to know about this coast.
She drops a bar of soap into the bucket with a splash. I definitely picked the right person to start talking to. Grandma was the right person. They do let you know that Grandma is the person you should talk to by pointing out the sound of her washing her laundry. When you first approach this area, they let you know that there are people, and that is the cue they give you, and that is a hint to talk to her. Tell me about yourself. Who exactly are you here?
Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie.
Isabel Sadie. Okay, I like you, Grandma. You are now my adopted Disco Elysium grandma.
Now it's your turn, Mr.
I bet I could have just... This would have been the only option I had, except that I have this. You know, this woman is letting me stay in her house for free. I think... I think she deserves my big fancy name. I'm going to give this to her not to show off, but because it's a sign of trust. I'm going to give her my name. Also because I think it's cool that I could do it when before I wouldn't have been able to do it. Lieutenant Double Yeffretor Harrier Dubois. Sorry. I don't know how to say this. Yeffretor. He has a lot. There's a lot going on there.
Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double.
The old woman nods with evident respect. She likes that. Ye Frighter. Okay. I'm not going to remember that, unfortunately. It's okay. Sorry, Oofus, but we're very close to closing. We're actually 20 minutes over schedule. But I wanted to make some progress, and I actually am really interested in this. Goodbye, I'm off. Oh, we have a thought. We have a thought. Here comes a thought. Here comes a thought. Are you ready for a thought? I'm sorry we're going so far over, but we have gone a month and a half without streaming, and so... You ready to do this? Shall we have a thought? The 15th Indotribe, if I remember correctly. Let's do it.
The 15th Indotribe. Because there was. The 15th Indotribe was comprised of 8 kids from Forberg and North Jamrock, running from wild dogs in the valley, hiding scents under rocks, and stealing clothes off clotheslines, and sometimes even the copper wiring of phone lines. You may have been one of them. This must be a childhood memory. The 15th Indotribe was your Indotribe, set to rule in Celinda. The rest of the kids are dead now. Car accidents and drug overdoses. Only you remain.
I thought this was going to be world building. I didn't realize it was going to be character development. What a story. What a story. But it's so important to understand where he came from and what shaped him. the burden of survivor's guilt, the responsibility of I'm the only one. I have to live for all of us. The going from that as your upbringing, being a wild little terror, and all of your friends die horribly. And then at some point, somehow, you manage to get into the police force, and you're good. You're damn good. And you fall in love with somebody marvelous and sensitive and thoughtful, and she just absolutely adores you. And life never seemed like it could be so good. And then something goes wrong or starts going wrong, and it's this sliding slope downward, and now you're here. Like, this is a fullness of his story that I think is essential to really feel like you can hold him in your mind and understand him as a complete character. Oh, I forgot to check the bonuses. What were the bonuses? Oh. Plus 10 cents for every green orb clicked. Learning cap for savoir-faire raised to 6. I had no idea that that was going to do that. Well, I kind of love it. I kind of love it. I don't know if I need to have it equipped all the time, but I love that I have it. You know? I love that I know that. I want to know that. Unfortunately, this is quite wasted on me, so I don't know that I need that skill. Because I currently have a 0. I am not disco. I am not a street rat. I'm not cool. God, I'm sorry. I just really love that he was this street rat and that we know this about him. And maybe he had some things in common with Kuno, and maybe Ocelot would actually be equipped to talk to Kuno in a way that Lauren isn't. Like, Kuno is very challenging for me, as I've talked about before. I don't know people like him well enough to be confident in handling that situation. But it's interesting that it feels like Ocelot would. He may have forgotten it, but somewhere inside him is some knowledge there. Did I get a new item? I think I did. A key? No. I thought I got a new item. I should sell the racist hat. I don't want to have the racist hat. I don't need the racist hat. Oh, keys! Keys. Ah, there we go. Yes, key to shack on the coast. Okay. Thank you, you're right. Yes, no, the writing in this game is exceptional. And yet, you could not ever claim that this game could be made in any medium that wasn't interactive. You know? It manages to be incredibly written, incredibly literary, incredibly focused on the written word. But it is also one of the most interactive games I've ever played. You know? Like, it's really astonishing because there's a lot of people who say games shouldn't be like other mediums. You know, so games shouldn't take inspiration from movies. We hate cutscenes. Or like, games shouldn't be inspired by books, so we shouldn't focus on having like paragraphs of prose. But like, is there anybody out there who could actually reasonably call this not a game? You know? There is no way. I mean, hell, there's numbers and dice rolling. But the numbers and dice rolling aren't unrelated to the text. They are intrinsic to the text. Like, it's not like this is like a visual novel with like some combat thrown in, you know? Like, the gameplay elements are fundamentally literary. And I don't mean that in a like snobby literature kind of way, you know? I don't know that I would say it's entirely its own genre, but I would say that it has elevated a genre that it belongs to and shown what can be done, and I think we will see a genre following this. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to more ways in which people are able to make a game solely a story that you take part in. Yeah, like it's not a reading simulator, but it is an interactive game. And like, I mean, I'm fine with visual novels. I'm fine with walking sims, and I do view the interactivity of a game like Gone Home as being an important part of the experience. That I don't think that Gone Home would be the same or as effective in a non-interactive medium. And there's a lot of other games that are like that. But this game has number crunching, and this game has luck rolls, and this game has all of the stuff, like all of the trappings, the randomization and strategy of a video game, you know? Or a game of some sort, like tabletop as well. But it's all about story and action that you take as a character in a story. And I'm just dying to see what else people are able to do with that. Using this as gameplay inspiration and then putting it in different kinds of settings and different kinds of stories and finding new and interesting ways of interpreting gameplay, like of incorporating dialogue as gameplay. Like, I think that's fascinating. Like, and Discourse Elysium totally gives you choices. Like, it just changes what text you get to read, just as like fighting monsters, you choose which abilities you get and whether you can win against a monster. Like, I would say that Discourse Elysium is, at least as far as I can tell, and granted I haven't beaten the game, but I would say that it seems to be much less linear than a lot of games. Like, puzzle games never have this many ways to solve a puzzle, you know? And maybe like fighting games have a wide variety of ways that you can like combine your moves, but fundamentally the gameplay is pretty straightforward. So like, you have a finite set of skills in most games, finite set of abilities that you can do. This game doesn't have that. This game has an infinite number of possibilities because it's not, they haven't like, they don't just give you like 4 buttons, you know, or like multiply that by like how many weapons can you equip and which of these things do you want to do against this particular kind of enemy. But like, compare something as elaborate as Hades. Because Hades has a lot of options, relatively speaking. There's a bunch of weapons. Each of those weapons has alternate forms that sometimes work differently. And you can also choose, you know, to some degree, there's both randomization and choice involved in your build as you choose different boons going through. And so the combination of all of these factors determines what moves you can do. But what, other than moves, what choices do you have in Hades? And like, I love linearity in games. Like, I'm I'm a fan of very linear RPGs. I would rather play a linear walking sim that is very heavily story driven than a non-linear game with a very superficial plot. Which is part of why I tend not to play games like Skyrim, for example, which has this massive world you can travel around and get to know the different countries and the different cultures and get really fascinated by the lore and the history and so on. But like ultimately, you're not playing a person. The person is all in your head. And most of the games that try to give you that much freedom for your character and the world and stuff, you have to play pretend with yourself to have a character and to have a plot. And so when people start talking about their experiences and why they love those games, sometimes it's just that they really enjoy Stealth Archer. But a lot of times they'll tell you about their shepherd who fell in love with Garrus and had these dramatic experiences. And a lot of it is their own imagination, which is valid. But for whatever reason, that's not how my imagination works when I play somebody else's story. I want them to give me the story. Otherwise, I'm going to make the story up myself completely. But yeah, so what I'm saying with all of that is that I feel like Disco Elysium has an extraordinary amount of choice. Even to some degree changing gameplay based on your build, just as, say, Hades has the dashing focused way of doing things, or the heavy version of doing things, or like the Stealth Archer way of doing things. Disco Elysium is astonishing because they didn't have to build a system outside of the storytelling gameplay. They could focus 100% of their attention on the storytelling gameplay. And so they're able to actually put the time in that, like, they write so many lines of dialogue that the average player is never going to see unless you're really, really save-scummy. You know, when the original Deus Ex came out, with some branching options, including some very challenging to get ones, like there are people you can save and things you can do that are very hard, but then the rest of the game acknowledges that you've done that. And it's not just like a single flag, it affects multiple things. Game developers who liked to create story-driven games all wanted to make the next Deus Ex, but it was so expensive and time-consuming that it simply wasn't feasible to do so. And so you would hear them talking about this. They talked about that a lot when I briefly thought I wanted to get into the games industry and I would go to GDC. There would be people having these conversations all the time that they wanted to do that. But it simply wasn't feasible to allow that much actual player agency. BioWare games are all about the illusion of choice. It's written in their story Bible. And I think games that want to give you choice, that want to give you agency, that are story-driven, that's largely the approach that they've taken. Unless there's some sort of like crazy little indie that took forever. So this game is interesting because it doesn't have an external gameplay engine. Like, they don't have to balance combat. They don't have to make sure that you aren't clipping through walls when you jump, you know? And so they could take that energy and focus on, like, how do we make the story the gameplay? Can it be done? And nobody, like, I think that things somewhat like this have been done before over the years. Many different ways, many different times, by many different people. But I think this is the pinnacle of it so far. They've kind of unlocked it. And I guess if it was a pain in the ass from the sounds of it. And I'm really excited to see what this means for games. That somebody has done this. That means it can be done again. And I'm just dying to see that, because this game is the writing style of it is, I mean, it's brilliantly written. Like, there's no arguing about that. But like the writing and characterization and worldview doesn't quite click with me. And so it's deeply uncomfortable a lot of times where like, I'm like, I cannot tell what's going on. I don't know if you're joking. I don't know if they're joking. I can never tell when they're joking. Pentiment is on my list, and a bunch of my friends have talked very glowingly about it, so I do want to play it. But like, I'd love to see a game with a writer who clicks with me as well as like Toby Fox clicks with me. Taking what has been done in this, and not Toby Fox taking this, but somebody else who's writing clicks with me. Doing a thing that is descended from this game, like, would be like amazing, absolutely amazing. So I don't know. People ask me what I think about this game sometimes, and I try to give an answer, and I'll just ramble for like 15 minutes. But yeah, I really want to see, and I hope we're able to see, like, I hope we get to have those games. I'm very worried about the games industry right now. But I'm worried about a lot of things right now. The enshittification of not just the internet, but the world at large is very disheartening. Oh man, Quillfeather, there are so many chances where I cannot tell. I literally cannot tell. It's constant. I'm like, I don't know if this is a joke. Like, I don't know if these answers are serious or a joke. And apparently a lot of players can tell that they're joking, and they'll pick the goofy joking answers, and I just take everything deadly seriously. It has led to some conflict between me and viewers because they get frustrated that I don't pick answers, and I'm like, I cannot tell if that's a joke, and I don't think it's funny. I'm sorry, but I am a wet blanket with no sense of humor. And yes, what I think about Disco Elysium is a lot. Like, this game is a work of genius, frankly. No, but the thing is, I don't think it's got anything to do with pop culture. I think it's just that I don't always pick up on humor. This is not something about the game. This is me. I don't do comedies. I hate comedies. I tell people I hate comedies, and I don't do humor. I tell people I have no sense of humor because it is easier than getting into an argument with people in which they get mad at me because I don't like The Simpsons. You know? So it's not unique to Disco Elysium that I can't tell what's supposed to be funny or how it's supposed to be funny. Thanks, Chrono. I appreciate more HDB. So I have a hard time with that. But what really, really drives it home with Disco Elysium is that so much of the way that I play this game and what I do engage with is having a massive amount of empathy and overthinking characters. And so, like, for example, if you are watching this and you haven't watched my backlog and you're like, maybe I might want to watch her backlog, but God, this is a lot. Find the one with Plaisance and her daughter. If you want to see the section in this game that clicked with me where I was like, I get it. I know exactly what's going on here, and I am exactly in my element. It is that section, which you'll find, like, if you want to go back, it's on my YouTube channel. That's the one that I recommend if you want to be like, this is an example of stuff that Lauren is like, yes, I'm on the right page. But there's all these things where I'm just sticking my foot in my mouth, not because Ocelot, which is what I call the main character, is a weirdo and sticks his foot in his mouth a lot, which he does, but sometimes I just completely misread what they're going for. I can't tell what the tone is. I can't tell what my character is thinking, and sometimes that's intentional. Sometimes they're doing a gotcha. Sometimes the character is confused. But a lot of times, other people are like, well, but that was always very clear to me. So clearly there is just something about the way that I read and perceive things or do not perceive things that is out of alignment with what they do here. And so it's interesting to me. So I get a lot out of playing this game. Like, obviously, like, it's fun to play a game that a lot of people are excited about because then you can have a lot of conversations with people about it. And I enjoy that. Like, I wouldn't be streaming if I didn't like having an audience around to talk to. But it's a deeply frustrating experience for me as well because, like, I feel a lot of pressure about picking the right answer or seeing, like the things that people would expect me to see or make sense of, which I can't always do in this game, because I'm streaming it. Like that's a little frustrating. But also like just there are moments where I'm like rhetoric and empathy and I are like high-fiving each other like all the time. Like I built my character. If this is the first time you have watched me stream, I built my character specifically so that he would have as much in common with me as he possibly could. Because I know if you're role-playing as somebody and there is a disconnect between you and that character, for me, that's disorienting. That's not what I want. And I could not have anticipated how relevant that was. The way that I solve problems in this is by overanalyzing the people I'm talking to, what they're saying, what they're not saying, reading between the lines, trying to figure out what that means, what is hidden in their words, what do I know about their background, their situation, what do I think they're going to be receptive to? Rhetoric and empathy right there. Inland Empire just kind of went out of control. You notice I put no points into him, but he's still a madman. Like, whatever, that's fine. My biggest problem with Inland Empire was that I have a very loud Inland Empire, and my Inland Empire and Ocelot's Inland Empire were not on the same page, but I've made my peace with that. No, I love that he has his own personality, but it lets you have space to figure out which version of him you're going to be. But I made a version of him that is very playable to me. But as you can see, this is not a well-rounded character. But this is how I play the game. And I'm very good at this stuff. But there's a lot of stuff in this game that I just completely, like, I can pretty much pick up what's going on in a Toby Fox game really well, because I feel like he and I are on the same page with characterization and storytelling and a lot of our influences. I haven't read Homestuck, but a lot of the other things, like I feel at home in a Toby Fox game enough that I can start like talking like I know what I'm talking about. With this game, I'm like, I have no fucking clue half the time. And it's so weird. Oh, see, Inland Empire doesn't feel like spoilers to me. Inland Empire feels like clown shoes that are sometimes relevant. But I enjoy it. Yeah, so the reason why he's Ocelot, by the way, is because he looked like Revolver Ocelot. When I first looked at the cover art, I was like, this is going to be the adventure of Disco Ocelot, or Revolver Ocelot, and Glasses Flashlight Man. They solve crime. And it turns out they do actually solve crime, which I didn't realize. I didn't know they were cops. So it was good. God, Chrono, I don't think there would be a lot of F-bombs in this game because I don't usually stream. I don't usually swear on streams, but it's Disco Elysium, which is swearing so much I have to swear if I'm reading things out loud. So I just give myself permission. Yeah, a swear jar. That would be funny. That would be very funny. Maybe we can look into that. But yeah, I went way over. Do you folks mind? Like, I feel like I talk about what I think about Disco Elysium as a whole, and I talk about this a lot. And I don't know if the nuance of it shifts as I play through more of the game and think about it more, or if the more I talk about it, maybe I get a little better at articulating it, or maybe I'm just repeating myself over and over and over again. But it's something that I think about a lot. And I talked to people about Disco Elysium. Yes, there is a degree of frustration that is inevitable, that is not a mismatch between me and the game, because I struggle with perfectionism, and Disco Elysium is like, you're going to fucking fail. You are playing a ruined man who is going to self-destruct no matter what you do. You cannot pick a good answer sometimes, and that's just how it is. And so for me, that is frustrating because I am such a perfectionist, but I can kind of embrace sometimes like, all right, we're just going to shoot ourselves in the foot. Like, I don't know. Thank you, Kingdom of Conscience. Thank you for subscribing. Yes, the correct answer is communism is what a lot of people say. People were really, really mad that I didn't pick. I said no to the clown shoes thought, or to the communism thought. I said no to the communism thought because it was what I refer to as clown shoes. It was just completely off its rocker nuts, and I was like, I'm not picking that. No, I don't want that. I didn't realize that I was shutting down a quest for good. which is unfortunate to kind of close yourself off from content, but that is an example of a thing where I was just like, why are you doing this? Why is this here? So it was 2 clown shoes for me. So we wound up going with Kingdom of Conscience. And then I got really mad because I thought the game was calling me a centrist. But then I got really mad about centrism, and then we yelled a lot, and I had feelings. And now I've come to the conclusion that the game is accusing Ocelot of being a centrist in a very specific way. So, yeah, no, like, the number of people who have just written, like, diatribes on YouTube, they're so frustrated with the fact that I shut down the communist thought. And obviously I'm not going to pick racist fascism. Like, no. The why? Nope. It's a whole bunch of answers I'm never going to give. Yeah, well, it's been nice that people have kind of been like, why did you do this? Because I think that people thought that I was saying that communism is clown shoes. And I was like, no. They presented me with clown shoes. If they had if they presented it to me, like, we've got to stick together, you know, we've got to look out for the common man, blah, 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 something like, I don't know, like, I probably would have been more likely to get on board. But that's not what they did. So, I did not. And it still continues to pop up. Like, I will pick the communist answer sometimes, because it is by far the least evil answer of the ones that they give me. And the one that is closer to my personal politics. But they're so insane. They're so insane. The way it's written in this game. But a lot of times once people realize that I'm not saying that I think that communists are insane, usually we're good. And they're like, wait a minute, Lauren. You're a democratic socialist by the US definition. Oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable aligning myself with a belief system. So that, yeah. Hi, Jaguar. Yeah, we've just been talking this whole time, man. I should have switched this to the Lauren talk screen, but I forget about it. But yeah. I don't know. I mean, I could conceivably replay this game and try a different path if I wanted to. We'll see. It's going to take me so long to get through this game once. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? But, like, I enjoy this. Like, this, like, endless nattering about what is Disco Elysium and how does it compare to other games and why am I not picking communism and all that stuff. It's really interesting to me. That's way interesting. So, yeah, well, Tarmuse, to give you a point of reference, when I moved here, I was very relieved that I could just vote for the NDP. And it was actually a viable political party. It was very exciting. No, shortly after I moved to Canada, there was a knock at the door, and it was some political canvassing. And they were like, you know, you're new here. And I was like, yeah, I just moved to Canada, but I am a dual citizen, so I can vote, but I'm still kind of learning my politics around here. And they're like, oh, where'd you move here from? And I was like, oh, I'm going to move here from the U.S., moved here from Texas. And they're like, do you mind my asking, you know, how did you vote in the U.S.? This slightly discomforted look. And I was like, well, I was actually a member of the Democratic Socialists of America, and that I paid fees and tried to get involved with the local one when I lived in Pennsylvania, but didn't get super active. You could just see the guy, like, breathe a sigh of relief, and he was like, okay, so we're the NDP, and you'll probably want to vote for us. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the impression I've gotten. Yeah, the pick one of these communist or fascist things or fuck off. That's always very uncomfortable. I don't like that. I'm a bug, and it has pinned me against the wall, and I'm like, not my favorite. But it's great. It's fine. Well, the thing is, like, I do actually, to some degree, believe in incremental change, or at least I believe in. I'm afraid and distrustful of zealots. And I always have a but what about? but don't forget that if you go too far in that direction, you can cause more harm. You should always be mindful of the exceptions. You should always be mindful of those who will be affected. You should always be mindful of the shortcomings of your ideals. But I don't think of myself as being especially moderate. Certainly not on the American political spectrum, but like, I mean, that's not saying much. So I'm aware of that. No, and I will say Scott Benson of Night in the Woods radicalized me somewhat more because there was a lot that I just didn't grow up learning because my father is a libertarian. I grew up in Texas. Like, I hit a button on my keyboard. I parroted a lot of things growing up and had to kind of learn that the things that I was saying and the things I actually believed didn't line up. And that the things that I thought I believed were really kind of not based on knowledge. And the more I learned and came to understand, the more I realized that I needed to change both the way I aligned myself and the things that I believed to be true. No, but I do know that most libertarians in function are not actually libertarians in ideals. They just use the name, but are really just glorified conservatives. My dad's a Republican more than he is a libertarian. Occasionally I'll meet like a true libertarian who's like, God, you know, we need to make sure that like we don't mess with people's like gender identity and who they choose to marry or whatever, because that's their business. It's not the government's business to meddle in your business, so do whatever. And I'm like, okay, all right, at least you're consistent. But oh, interesting. Okay, I am not surprised to find that they're using the word in a way that's incongruent with its original definition. There have been a lot of things that have shifted quite a lot. I mean, the Republicans and the Democrats in the U.S. even have like flipped as far as like who leaned which way because of the abolition of slavery and further developments on that front. So there's a whole thing. My dad really loves capitalism. He's an economist. My dad is a libertarian economist. We don't really talk about politics very much. Good night, Chrono. Sleep well, friend. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Jando. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is not the case, so. Yeah, no, Jagger-chan, it's an interesting thing between the Civil War and the Civil Rights era. Like, things were going based on racial issues. Interesting stuff. Not stuff I know, because I'm not a historian. It's not stuff that I know enough to talk confidently with expertise, but I have some idea of it. Yeah, that is one of the things that's frustrating with this game for me also, is that I'm not a historian and I'm from a region of the world that has been raised with direct propaganda and a major ignorance of the part of the world that has directly inspired this game, that this game was built in and set in. And so there are massive holes in what I know and my understanding of things, and I'm aware of that because I've been trying to fill that knowledge. But I don't know. I can't be more of a historian than I am. Like my memory loss issues are such that I cannot retain history. All I can retain is a general impression pretty well. And so I don't know. I'm doing my best. Fortunately, we have people who watch this from around the world who are sometimes historians, or people who just are aware of the history or culture or politics of the region and can fill in information that makes my understanding of this game fuller, which I appreciate. So, yeah. It's good and interesting stuff. That's the thing, is that Disco Elysium is not just like, oh, let's play a game and see what happens in game. or cry about story in game. Disco Elysium is a work of art that gives us an opportunity to deconstruct how story is told in gaming, what interactivity means in a story-driven game, world politics in our world, and how we define ourselves, how we criticize ourselves and the people like us in helpful and unhelpful ways. Like, these are conversations that we can have, and that's why my streams take so goddamn long. I mean, some of it is that, yes, we do start talking about Girl Scout cookies. Thin Mints are the best. And sometimes I'm like, hey, here's an interesting psychology thing that I learned in my therapy that I thought was neat, and I want you to know about it so you can go look it up and maybe talk to your therapist if it's relevant to you. But a lot of it is stuff that's actually relevant to this game, and I love that this game gives me an excuse to talk with people about it. I really enjoy it. I like talking about this stuff. I'm not smart enough or convinced of my own correctness enough to make YouTube videos talking about this stuff, but I love to talk about this stuff, so it's really fun to just chat off the cuff with people about it. But I do want to make another video essay analysis of storytelling in Night in the Woods. So I'll do that eventually, because that stuff I feel somewhat confident in, because I'm not saying this is how this is. I'm like, this is what I think about this. So if you liked the one that I did about Undertale and Deltarune and Comic Relief, you can look forward to what I have to say about, like, I don't know, realism in Night in the Woods. I think is what that's all about. We'll see. I've outlined it, but I haven't made it yet because health. But I'm back tomorrow. I have I'm making so many Disco Elysium videos. I don't know. There is so much. I don't know that I'd be able to make a video about that. Like, basically, I have to have sat on a game for like 5 years and wrapped my head around it and have some small aspect of it I think I can talk about. But I do have this one I really want to do, comparing and contrasting Horizon Zero Dawn and the Talos Principle, which has a sequel out that I need to play. But I want to do that video first. I haven't played a sequel of either of those. Anyway, tangent. I need to shut down so I can drink water and get ready for bed and maybe have a piece of chocolate with my roommate. Tomorrow, I will try streaming a concert at 2 p.m. Eastern on this channel and hopefully on YouTube as well. So we'll see how that goes. But if you would like to see some Lauren music, I will be singing and playing flute because the Lauren the flute. Yes, in fact, I am a flute player. I will be doing video game covers and other things. We'll see. Have I practiced? No. Do I have a set list? No. It's going to be a mess. But it's my belated birthday and I wanted to do something and I can't do the weekend because I have a biopsy. So we're going to do Friday. Life, man. Life. Thank you all for being here. Those of you who are joining for the first time, I'm so glad you could make it. If you were able to catch up because of my very long break, well, I'm glad that the break was a gift to you. For everyone else who put up with the break and came back afterwards, thank you so much for your patience and your tolerance and for still being here and not forgetting about me. If you're watching this on chipmunk mode, let me know you're watching this on chipmunk mode. I hope you enjoy speedrunning the Lauren's very slow stream. Good night, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow or next week. We're going to start Ghost Trick on Tuesday. Good night. Bye.